Hey guys, what is up? It is Dalton here,
And I'm Tyler.
and welcome to our next segment of our video game collection videos. Now this one is a big one, guys. We're going to be showing every single video game console that we own, and that includes the accessories to the consoles, some boxed sealed stuff, boxed consoles, loose consoles, handhelds, you name it, we'll show it based on, console peripherals and stuff like that. So if you haven't already, we strongly recommend you do so. Check out our NES, SNES, N64, handheld, GameCube, Wii/Wii U, PS1, PS2, and PS3/PS4 video game collection videos. Just because those are on the channel now, and those are great as well. We put a lot of effort into making those for you guys as well, so we strongly recommend you check those out as well. But for the most part, this one's going to be all of the consoles and controllers and stuff like that. So there's a lot of unique stuff in this one, so stay tuned for it, guys. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and first start off with all of the loose controllers and accessories, things like that. There's some pretty unique pieces that I have in the collection, which I think is really, really cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into them. The first stuff here we're going to start with is for NES. And then we'll move into, like Super Nintendo, 64, PS1, so on and so forth. So, here we go. We're going to first start off with some NES stuff. Now, I forgot to mention these first pieces here that I'm going to show. I forgot to mention these in the NES game collection video, but I was digging through this bin that I had in the closet, and I forgot I had some of this stuff. Well, I didn't forget. I just didn't have the time during the first video of the NES video game collection to dig these out and show them. So I'll just go ahead and show them here. I already mentioned them, but I will go ahead and physically show them now. But we have here first a NES Game Genie. Really, really cool. I have one that's currently out on the shelf, but I did mention that I had another one, so there's that one. Then we have a loose cleaning kit for the NES, just the actual cleaning kit. It's not really, it doesn't have all the pieces to it, but there's that. Then I've got two more boxed ones, which is really, really cool. I mentioned I had those, but I just forgot to, pull them out. I didn't have the time to do so, but I took some time and, went digging and I found them. So there's those. So very cool. Alright, so there's those little items. Then we'll get into some little bit more unique pieces here. Alright, so the next piece here, which is really cool. I thought this was an awesome little piece I got in a NES bundle, I believe. I got this with an NES and some games. Very, very cool, unique piece. You definitely don't see them a whole lot, but that is an NES Quick Shot, which is a really cool, unique piece. It's pretty much just like the Advantage, just a different brand, but it's really, really cool. It's definitely one you don't see every day, so I thought that was really cool to hang on to and keep in the collection. So, very cool. I love that. It works pretty much just like the Advantage. It's just not the exact same, but it does have the same, control feel to it. So, very cool. Alright, so this next piece, probably one of my favorite pieces for the NES. Every NES when it first came out was packaged with this, so if you do know what that is, you already know what I'm talking about, but that is Rob the Robot, which is really, really cool. Unfortunately, this one does not work, but he's still a really cool shelf piece. He doesn't have all of his pieces. He's missing his little claws, and he's missing some other, gyros and things like that. But he's still really cool to have around just because they're not too common anymore, especially for a working one. Those are really hard to find, a complete working one. So, but very cool. I thought this was an awesome piece to get. I can't remember if where I got this one for sure, but I'll explain later on what other things I have that have to do with Rob. So, very, very cool. He is a little sun-yellowed, but not too bad. I mean, he's still really cool to have on the shelf. So, very cool piece. I love that. Alright, next thing we have here, I have not one, not two, but 3 NES Power Pads, which is, I know a little bit much for having, 3 of the same thing like this, but for the most part, 2 of them were found locally, and then one I got in an eBay lot, and I don't know, I just kind of stuck around and hung on to them, just because I don't typically want to feel like selling one by itself. It probably costs too much to ship, and it's just not, worth it to me to just sell it by itself. So, anyway, I just hung on to all 3 of them, which is cool, because they're, a unique piece. You don't see them all the time either. But very cool to find at least 2 of those locally. I thought that was awesome. I just recently picked up one, which is really, really cool. You know, to the date of this video anyway. But it came in an NES bundle, which was really awesome. So yeah, all 3 of them do work, which is really nice. I haven't come across really any accessories that much that don't work, so, but that's really, really cool. I thought these were awesome to hang on to, so very cool. Alright, and so now we're going to go ahead and get into the last loose NES accessory item here. One that, you know, doesn't have the box or anything, but it's a really unique piece, and a whole lot of people probably don't even know what this is, or probably don't have one. Things like that. It's not too common, but you can come across them every once in a while. So, but it's a really unique piece, and that is the Miracle Piano, which is really, really cool. Definitely something you don't see every day. This does work. It's really, really cool. I am missing some parts to it, like the foot pedal and the cord to the NES console. It does have, you know, it fully works and everything. It makes sounds. You can play it regularly, which is cool. I do have the NES cartridge for this, which I showed in the NES game collection video. But very, very unique piece. I thought this was an awesome thing to get. I ended up getting this off of eBay, as a matter of fact. And what was cool about it was the guy only lived about 20 minutes away from us, which is, that was just a lucky break, because it probably would have cost a lot for the guy to ship this. And plus, I didn't want to trust it just in case it would have been dropped or something during shipment. So the guy agreed to meet locally, and I met him at a local gas station, which was really cool. And it was only $70, which was really cool. So I basically just met him like it was a Craigslist deal. So he was, you know, willing to just meet, and I paid him actual cash instead of using PayPal. So that was really cool. But anyway, it came with at least the power brick. So very cool. So there's that. And then it came in this really cool carrying case. I don't believe this is the actual carrying case that it's supposed to come in, but it's definitely cool, and it keeps it stored nicely. And but there's that, which is really, really cool. I do believe that's probably just for like an original, just regular electric piano. So, but still, it works very nicely for it. So very, very cool. So there is that. Very cool piece. All right. So now we'll go ahead and get into a couple of the Super Nintendo accessories. And the first one here, nothing too spectacular. It is missing some of the packaging and stuff. That is why I'm not putting it in the complete in box category, just because it's not that big of a deal, and plus it's not, you know, too spectacular of an item. But that is a Super Nintendo cleaning kit here. As you can see, the plastic has fairly yellowed for the packaging. Which is really odd. I don't remember it actually doing that. I might have just done that over time just from owning it. But very cool. It is missing the actual like liquid spray that you would use to clean the games and the console, but it's still got the original plastic. This was, I think, $1 that I got from a thrift store that closed down not too long ago, and it was kind of like a home-owned mom and pop kind of store, so it wasn't a very well-known thrift store. I think that's why it went out of business, but they had that, and I thought that was really cool, so I decided to pick it up. Alright, and then I do believe this is the only other loose Super Nintendo accessory, and very, very cool, very similar to the NES Zapper, and that is the SNES Super Scope, which is really, really cool. It is missing a couple pieces, I do believe. I mean, I think there's supposed to be a scope attachment to the top part, but for the most part it does work. It has the battery cover and everything for the batteries, but it's a really unique piece. I have used it, it does work great, and it's really, really cool. I do have a sensor for it. I just have that stowed away in the controller drawer that you would have seen in the video game room tour. But anyway, very cool, unique piece. Definitely really cool to have one of these. It's not as common as a Zapper, but it's still, you know, not too hard to find. So very cool. And I did show this in the Super Nintendo game collection video, and that is a Super NES Super Scope 6 game. And that is a double copy that I have. I do have one that's on the shelf as well, but I decided I wanted to have a copy of the game to go with the gun itself, just in case I got a box for the gun, and I could, you know, complete it that way. So very, very cool. Nice, unique piece. So definitely awesome. Alright, So there's that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead now and get into the N64 stuff. Again, not too much loose N64 stuff, but some really cool stuff, so we'll go ahead and get into it. Alright, so the first thing here, I've got a little box here of stuff. These used to be stored away as well in this bin that I was talking about in the closet, and I came across them and I was like, that's cool, I can show these as well. These are pretty common items. They are, you know, a little bit expensive if you're talking price, but if you find them, they're not too hard to find, let's just put it that way. But we have here a small box of accessories for N64. We've got transfer packs, rumble packs, some expansion packs, stuff like that. I just have a bunch of these, loose pieces that I've, collected over the years. A lot of the expansion packs came out of consoles and stuff that I've gotten. There's actually some memory cards and stuff in here too. I try to keep first-party brand accessories, unless it's just a really cool, unique off-brand item. But for the most part, this is all the Nintendo-branded stuff in here. But very cool. These are, very cool. These are mainly used for like Pokemon. You'd plug in the game cartridge for Game Boy in here, and then you could transfer your stuff into the N64 Pokemon Stadium games. So very, very cool. I thought these were unique pieces, so very cool. So there's those. Alright, and then next thing over here, these I forgot to show in the N64 game collection video. I had forgotten where I stored these, and I came across them again. And I meant to show them in the game collection for N64, but I forgot, so I'll go ahead and show them now. And that is the Game Sharks for N64. And one is the first edition, and then I believe this is the version 3.0. So not too entirely sure what's the difference here. They're probably just enhanced, versions. I haven't fully used these before. They do turn on and everything. That's as far as I've gotten with them. But very, very cool items. They're not too cheap, especially for version 3. They get a little more expensive as they go up in versions. But very, very cool, unique pieces. I don't have code books or anything. I don't know if they came with them. I'm pretty sure they did. But very, very unique pieces. I thought those were awesome. So, very cool. Alright. So there's those. Then, this next piece here. Nothing too spectacular either, but pretty cool. Buddy of mine that I know from Goodwill, his name is George. He sold these to me for a couple bucks. He found them himself at Goodwill, but he never really had any use for them, so he asked me if I wanted them, and I said sure. But we have 3 of these Performance brand N64 game cartridge plastic cases here. It's got some water damage and stuff to the outer cardboard box here, but the cases themselves are really nice, which is really, really cool. They're definitely unique. There's some ripping and stuff to the box, stuff like that, but there is, it's just normal wear except for like here and stuff. There's some water damage and stuff to the bottom of the box, but other than that, it's not too bad. But they are Performance brand. They're not actual Nintendo released cases, but still really, really cool. I thought those were unique to show as well. So, and when he showed them to me, I was like, hey, why not? It's another little accessory to add to the collection. So, very cool. Alright, this next piece here, I got this from a guy that Tyler and I, our grandfather knows. He had a daughter that played games all the time. And I mentioned this in a couple of the other game collection videos. And his daughter used to play NES, SNES, and N64. So, and he would play with her too. So they had a lot of cool stuff. And they kept their stuff in really nice shape. But this is one of those things that I've gotten from their stuff that they gave us. And very, very cool piece here. And that is a Mad Catz racing wheel and foot pedals for N64. Very, very cool item. I tested this with Diddy Kong Racing when I first got it, and it works so nicely. It was really, really cool piece. You definitely don't see them a whole lot just because they're bigger, bulkier pieces. Not a whole lot of people wanted to deal with it. But in my opinion, I think it's really, really cool. It feels like you're at the arcade, stuff like that. Definitely would be an awesome thing to use when you're playing like Cruisin' USA or something like that. It's a really cool idea. So very, very cool. This piece is definitely unique. So cool. I wonder what it'd be like to find a boxed one. I think I remember seeing one once before. The boxes are really, really big, so it's kind of like a bulky thing. I probably wouldn't have room for a boxed one, but still really cool. Okay, so now after N64, we're going to go ahead and get into the PS1 stuff here. Nothing too major for PS1. It's only a couple of items, but still really cool, so I might as well go ahead and show them. I mean, why not? The first thing here, I hadn't really seen one before. I believe I picked this up at Arc Thrift Store, our local Arcs, in our local thrift store, I guess. It's like a Goodwill, but they call it Arc, which is really cool. Anyway, this was a couple bucks, I believe. Pretty unique piece. I don't see it a whole lot, but it's definitely really cool. And that is a Sony PlayStation 1 multi-tap, which is really, really cool. It's official Sony brand. Definitely a unique piece. They're basically just like the PS2 one, similar style and everything like that. It has 4 slots for controllers and 4 memory card slots, which is really cool. So definitely a unique piece. It's got an odd shape to it. It's kind of like an L shape. But that's the best way for it to work, so I thought, hey, why not? Pretty cool. But anyway, so there's that piece. And we just went over this with the N64, but I just recently picked this up at a garage sale with a PS1 console, and I thought it was really, really cool. And it's basically the exact same thing, and that is the Mad Catz wheel, once again. And this one is for PS1, but it works just as well as the N64 one. It does have a small rattle on the inside, so I'm not too sure what that's about. But it still works great, and it's a really cool, unique piece, so I definitely wanted to hang on to it. Again, this would be great for like Gran Turismo or Need for Speed, things like that. That's a really cool idea. So very cool. Another feel for like the arcade, stuff like that. So definitely a unique piece. All right, so there's that. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and get into some PS2 stuff. We got some small items here first, and then I'll get into the bigger items. So, anyways, here we go. Alright, first thing here, I've only seen one, or maybe I've seen a couple before, but there's only really a need to only have one. But that is an iToy camera for, the iToy games and stuff for PS2. Nothing too spectacular, but still a really cool piece. Not everyone had one, so I thought that was really, really cool to have. So very, very cool. Alright, so there's that. And then same thing for the PS1. We have 2 PlayStation 2 multi-taps here. More squared off, rectangular shaped one. I do kind of like the L-shaped one. That was cool. Just the design's a little bit different. But I think they did this to kind of save some space with PS2, just to make them a little more compact, if you will. So very, very cool. I have 2 just because I picked up one in a bundle and I decided to hang on to it, and I realized I already had one, so just decided to hang on to both. So not too big a deal, but still really cool. They both work great, so that's awesome. Alright, this next piece here is also a little piece. Just recently picked this up from a garage sale. I had to piece it together because it was missing the dongle to it, but it was definitely a unique piece, and I thought it was awesome to hang on to. And that is the PS2 DVD remote here, which is really, really cool. Definitely a unique piece, just because it helps, make the PS2 feel more like a DVD player if you're going to use it for movies. Which is what these people did. They only used it for a DVD player, which I thought was really, really cool. It's not like it's, just for DVDs, but these people had it that way, so I thought it was really cool. So the PS2 was in really nice shape. As a matter of fact, I ended up switching it out, and that was the one I wanted to keep for myself to play with. So very, very cool. But yeah, really cool to get a nice DVD remote. And the dongle it came with a PS1 that we got down at our outdoor big flea market. So to piece it together like that was a really unique way of doing it, but at least I got both pieces, so that's cool. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and plug it back into the PS2, just because that's how I had it. But anyway, so there's that. Alright, next we're going to get into some Guitar Hero stuff. Nothing too spectacular here, so we'll kind of go through them pretty quick, but we've got red Guitar Hero, very, very cool. Nothing too much to say about it, it's just basically a controller, but they are cool to have. They do take up some space, so I try not to pick them up if I don't have to. Usually they come in bundle deals, which is really, really cool. Just to say that I have some guitars at least, so very cool. This next one here is really cool as well. It's just the basic black one, but still very nice. Very nice shape. Most of the time when I get, you know, PS2 bundles, they usually don't have these. But when they have the guitars, they're usually in pretty nice shape. So, very, very cool. Then we have another black one here. This one has some of the sticker decals on it. So, there's that one. Very cool. Alright, and then the last one, which is probably my favorite one of the bunch, just because it's a little more unique. I think this one's awesome. It is the wireless one here, which is really, really cool, and it did come with the dongle, which is nice. Those are really hard to find. But this also works on PS3, which I thought was really, really cool. Not too common, I guess you could say, especially with the dongle. That's really hard to find because people tend to lose them. So, but very cool. I thought that was awesome. So, not too bad at all. So, very cool. Alright, so that is going to do it for the loose accessories. So now we're going to go ahead and get into some boxed stuff. Alright guys, so here is the next set of stuff here. It's all the box stuff, but before we get into the box things, there was a couple of loose items that I forgot to show. I forgot that I had set them aside and I forgot completely about them, so I'm going to go ahead and show them real quick in this clip. But the first thing here, it's a pretty cool little piece. I thought it was awesome. I got this in a Game Boy Color lot. I don't remember which ones precisely, but I'm pretty certain I kept the Game Boy from this lot. But this is a pretty cool little piece. It is a Game Boy screen here. It's like a enhancement screen that has, you know, you can plug it in and it, you know, enhances the volume of the game. The magnifying screen there helps you see it better, and it brightens it up and everything. And it also has like a little joystick and you know, A and B buttons and stuff that helps. It's kind of like a little arcade thing. So I thought that was really cool. So that's cool. That's a nice little piece. I forgot that I had set that aside. A lot of these things I forgot completely about, but I'll go ahead and show them now. So, and then this I mentioned, but I didn't show it just because I, you know, did not grab it out, but I decided to grab it out real quick just to show you that I do have it, and that is the sensor for the Super Scope on Super Nintendo. I actually have 3 of these, but there's no reason to pull all 3 out just because, you know, they all look the same. So, but they all 3 do work. So, but there's that. Pretty cool. It's a lot different than the Zapper. The Zapper, you know, you could just use it. But for the Super Nintendo Super Scope, it actually has the sensor bar and everything too. So, but anyway, now here is a couple of N64 things. First thing here, nothing too spectacular. I forgot I had these to show as well. I bought these in the intention of selling off, you know, individual piece by piece, but it's kind of hard to do these kind of things, you know, individually. But we have here a box full of N64. They're NES RF adapters, which, you know, you could use your old school NES and SNES RF switches on the N64 and the GameCube. These are basically just a conversion piece, which is pretty cool. There's nothing too much to say about them. They're just, you know, a bunch of them, I guess. There's also some other pieces in here, like the bit removers for N64, like the to get the jumper pack out and stuff like that. So I just pretty much have a big box of that. I think there's about 40 pieces in there. I bought them all for like 10 bucks. I don't know. I just mainly just got them just because they look cool to have. But I mainly want them just to kind of help sell some cords and stuff. If I ever had to run out of like regular AVs, I could always put an RF switch with an N64 or GameCube, something like that. But I've never gotten around to having to use them yet. But I'm pretty sure I'll probably get to using them sometime. Next item here, I wanted to show this in the N64 game collection video, but I forgot to show it, so I'll show it now. And that is a promotional N64 wallet from the actual era, which is really, really cool. One of our Goodwills around here, which is pretty cool. It has a backroom outlet, which everything is 99 cents an item, which is incredible. So I was digging around back there and I found this in a bucket and I thought it was really, really cool, so I decided to pick it up. And it was only $1, so I couldn't complain. But a very cool little promotional piece to have for the collection, so I thought that was really cool. So there's that. Then the next piece here is for the GameCube. I have several of these as a matter of fact, but there's only a reason to show one, just because they all look the same. But that is the GameCube microphone, which is really cool. I have 4 of the gray ones, and I actually have a black one, which is quite odd. I'd never seen one before. But if you guys know what it's for, please let me know. I'm not sure what game it was for or anything, but it definitely is a unique one. I've only seen it once. But I do know that the regular gray ones and stuff would go to, you know, Mario parties and stuff like that. But anyways, it's cool to have these. They're Unique little piece. I don't really have a reason to have them unless I get the big boxes for Mario Party 6 and 7, but still really cool little unique pieces to have. So there's those. Very cool. Alright, then the last little bit of loose stuff, and then we'll get into the box stuff, I promise, guys. But here we go. I've got 3 of them, and they are the PS2 Fat Console network adapters, which is really cool. The main reason I have 3 of them is they came off of PS2s that I've bought from Goodwill and other thrift stores over the last couple of years. Some PS2s I find, they're like $5, $10 consoles or whatever. They'll sometimes have a network adapter attached to them. So I'll usually just take them off and I'll just hang on to them. There's really no reason to use them anymore. They don't have any sole purpose. They do have some value, but they're not really used anymore. So very unique piece. I don't know if it's just because it's unique to have, that's why they're worth a little more, or they're just cool collectible piece. I'm not sure, but I do know that I don't think they work. I really don't know if there's no online for PS2 anymore. So, but they're still really, really cool. I thought they were just cool to hang on to. So every time I find a fat PS2 with one of these on it, I'll just plop it off and take it and keep it. So, but anyways, so there is all of the loose stuff. Now we can go ahead and get into all the boxed accessories. So first we're going to start off with NES, and then we'll work into Super Nintendo, and then so on and so forth. So here we go. Alright, first item here. I picked this up about a month ago, a month ago from this recording date of this video. Went to the outdoor flea market that we usually go to a lot, and this was a really cool find. I had never seen one of these before, and this is factory sealed, which is incredible. Very unique piece. And that is an NES console dust cover, which is very awesome. I have never seen anything like it before. I don't think I've ever come across a loose one or anything. So to find one factory sealed, that is really, really cool. It's just a basic dust cover, I guess. You just put it over the NES console and it would keep it from getting dusty, I guess. But I've never really actually seen anyone use or have one of these, so I thought it was a really cool piece. So I was definitely excited to find that when I did. So very cool, unique boxed piece there. Alright, next one here. Got this in an eBay lot not too long ago. Very, very cool. It's definitely from the era, just by how it looks and the packaging and everything. Very cool, unique piece. Never seen one of these before either, and I can't really find anything about it online for info or anything, so I'm not sure what its true value is. I've never seen one like this before, so I thought it was really cool. But it's a Nippon America brand NES controller, complete in the box there, which is really cool. It looks just like a real NES controller. It's just got some extra turbo switches and stuff on it, which is really cool. I have used it. It does work great. It's really cool. It does feel like an original, brand controller. It doesn't feel, cheesy or anything like that. So it's definitely really good quality. So that does help tell me that it is from the actual era of the NES, because they did back then make good quality aftermarket stuff as well. Just later on, like towards N64 era and stuff, aftermarket stuff just became pretty crappy. But very cool piece. I thought that was awesome. So very cool. The box is starting to come apart, but it is holding up for the most part, so still pretty cool. Has the original stuff, so that's awesome. Alright, next NES piece here. Very, very cool. I got this probably back when I first started collecting games. It was on a Craigslist deal, as a matter of fact. I really miss the days when you could go on Craigslist and you could find so much cool stuff from people just digging out of their basement or their attic and just putting it on Craigslist real quick, trying to make a couple bucks and then be good with it. But nowadays you'll see someone trying to ask full eBay retail pricings for things that it's just ridiculous. But back when I first started collecting, things were really nice to find, and it was basically like if you were finding it at a garage sale. That's what these prices were like to me, and what it felt like. But anyways, this was a $10 piece, which is worth, I think, at least $30 in this condition. Really cool, unique piece. It's not too common of a piece, especially in the original box like this. I thought this was really, really cool. And that is the NES Satellite, which is really, really cool. This is in mint condition compared to a lot of the ones I have seen. The box is a little bit, rougher on the edges, but on the inside, I think the thing is brand new because it has the original bags and everything wrapped around it. It still has the original, the stickers that you put on the controller, so you know which one was going to where when you would plug it in. It actually has all of the original pamphlets and everything that was supposed to come with it, and it even has the top, sheet of styrofoam that would keep everything together on the inside. So it's definitely very, very clean, very brand new looking. It's really, really cool. So I was really, really happy to find this. especially off of Craigslist. It was incredible. But very cool, unique piece to have complete in the box like that. It's awesome. So there's that. Then we've got one last piece, and then we will move on to Super Nintendo. Now, if you've seen the last few intros and outros to these videos, you'll probably already know what this is, because it's been in the background. But this is complete in the box as well. And I got this from our local game store, Games Ahoy, when they first opened a few years back. And they had it priced just like their open ones, their regular loose, versions of it. So I don't know if they were just pricing it because the box looks a little rough or whatever. But I did have to put a manual for it. I had to find a separate manual because this didn't have it. But this is complete in the box now, and that is the NES Advantage, which is very, very cool. Definitely a unique piece as well. Very cool controller. I love it. It's really cool. It feels like you're in the arcade for sure. It's definitely got some heaviness to it, so it feels very, authentic and everything. It's really nice. But to have one complete in the box like this is really, really cool. I know there's a different style version of the box that I'd like to get. It's got different style to the background. I think the stars are a little different and stuff. It's a little bit different. It looks like a later release, I would say. I think it has the red strip on the top as well, but I'm not positive. But very, very cool piece to have in the box. I thought that was awesome. So very, very cool. I think it was only like $13 or something like that, which is really cool for a box controller like this, especially from a game store. But I'm sure if they had something like this now, it'd be more, just because they've, balanced their prices better now than they used to, because they were kind of testing the waters back when they first opened. But now it's a little bit different, but back then it was really cool. So, alright, next set of stuff here is all for Super Nintendo, but there's just 3 box controllers here, but I'll go ahead and show them how they are. There's one of the original era ones right here. Very, very cool. It's just got a little rip right here on the box, but not too bad. I mean, it's old, so I mean, it's going to have some wear to it, but I don't know exactly what happened there. I don't know if there's like a sticker or something on it that got ripped off, but it does look pretty ugly. But the other 2 here are the later releases when they would have came out during the Super Nintendo Mini, just because they have the Super Mario RPG style characters on the front. So that was, 1996. So very, very cool. One of them is actually brand new. The box is open, but it's a brand new controller, which is really, really cool. I don't remember which one it is, but I can go ahead and take a look. It's this one right here. The box is, open, of course, but the controller is brand new with the bagging on it still and the twisty tie. So it's never been opened to be played with or anything, so I thought that was really, really cool. Definitely cool to have complete in-box controllers like that. You don't come across them a whole lot, but they're definitely really, really cool when you find them. So, very cool. I believe one of them came from a Craigslist deal, one was from a garage sale, and then the other one, I'm not positive. It might have been like an eBay lot or something like that, but still very, very cool. I don't remember what I paid for them. I do believe one of them was $5, which is really good for just a controller alone. So for a box one, that was incredible. But there's those, so very cool. Alright, the next one here. It's not really a console genre specifically. It can work for any console. But it came for, I got this when I got a bunch of stuff from our grandparents' good friend, Bud. He had a bunch of video game stuff, and this came with his N64 that we got. So I'll just put it right before the N64 lot of stuff. Or there's not really a lot of stuff, but for the N64 category. And that is the Universal System Selector by Mad Catz, which is really cool. I use this thing every single day. It has all my consoles hooked up to it, so I can just switch each one whenever I want to play. Let's say N64, I'll switch it to Switch 1. Or I want to play PS2, I'll switch it to Switch 4. Something like that. It's very, very easy to use. It's a very cool piece. So I was just really happy to get something like this because my TV that I have in the game room only has one AV output. So it would have been really big pain in the butt just to keep switching out cords every single time. So this really cuts that down big time. So that's really, really cool. This is just the box, by the way. The actual thing is hooked up already, so I just showed you the box. There's nothing in it. But I'd rather just show you the box because that looks cooler than the actual just system thing sitting there. So, but anyway, there's that. And this is really, really cool. I picked this up with a boxed console, and I'll show you that later when we get into consoles. But this was a part of that set off of Craigslist, and it was a really, really good deal. I could not believe how good of a deal this was, especially off of Craigslist. But again, keep in mind, this was about 2.5, 3 years ago. So, with that being said, things have changed significantly on Craigslist since then. So, But anyways, very, very cool piece. It's just missing the cardboard tray that holds the item, but it's not that big a deal. I can still probably find a cardboard tray or something somewhere, or if I have to, upgrade it. But if I never get to that point, I'm completely satisfied with the way it is right now, and that is the black N64 controller, complete in box there. Almost complete. I guess you could say it's 90% complete because it's missing the cardboard tray, but the controller is in mint condition. The person I bought this from, she was an older lady. She said she bought this set and the controller and everything for her grandkids when they would come over, but they only played with it like 3 times. And the thing is like brand new. It's really nice. So very, very cool piece to have in the collection for sure. I love boxed controllers, and to have an N64 controller complete in box like this, very, very cool. I thought that was awesome. So very cool. Alright, now we'll go ahead and kick it into PS1. Just one item here, but still very unique. Found this at a local thrift store. It's Habitat for Humanity. Basically just like a Goodwill or anything else, or Salvation Army. Similar style, everything like that, but all their proceeds go to building houses and stuff for lower income families and stuff like that. So very cool program. I thought that was an awesome way of building a thrift store and turning something good into it like that. So very cool idea. So anyways, this came from that store, and this is only about maybe 5 minutes away from our house. So very cool. Tyler actually pointed this one out when we found it. It was in a bin full of like computer controllers and mouses and stuff. So it was really cool to find this. And I think it was only $2, which is incredible. I've never seen anything like it before in the box like this, but it's factory sealed, and that is a Sony PS1 controller. And this is the white one, which would have come out during the mini PS1, which is really, really cool. I thought that was insane to find something like that, especially factory sealed. That is awesome. So to find factory sealed things like this doesn't happen all the time, and when it does happen, you just get that really cool butterfly feeling, because you're like, you found something very, very cool, and it's not very common to someone come across a complete sealed box controller like this. It just does not happen all the time. So very unique piece. I love it. It's really cool on the shelf. I thought that was really cool. So awesome. Alright, now after PS1, we of course get into PS2. So for this, we have a couple of items here. Again, different, like the same kind of thing, but a different story. Got this off of eBay. It came with a box PS2. I already had a box PS2, kind of like this. I'll show it later, you'll see it. But this is a part of it that came in the slot, and I decided to keep this and sell everything else because I owned everything else. And this was definitely a unique piece to get and keep for the collection, and I love it. And that is the Emerald Green PS2 controller, factory sealed, which is incredible. Once again, hard to find sealed controllers like this, because most of the time when people bought a new controller, they'd open it up right away when they got home and used it. But for some reason, this one was factory sealed. I remember back when I was growing up and got a PS2 and stuff, when I had my PS2, I would get new controllers and stuff for birthdays and Christmas, things like that. I would always open it up that day because I wanted to use that new colored controller. It was really, really cool. I remember getting an emerald green one and a oceanic blue one, I remember, for one of my birthdays and a Christmas. And I always, when I did that, I would get it and open it right away. So I'm not too sure why this was never opened, but it's really cool that it's still this way. Unique piece for sure. Definitely really cool to have in the collection. So very cool. So there's that. Alright, and then one other PS2 item here. You saw some loose pieces like this just a little bit ago. And this one is complete in the box, which is really cool. Found it this was in a town about 30 minutes away from us, I'd say. And it's another home-owned thrift store. Not too well-known, I guess you could say. It's kind of, off the map. But it was really cool to come across this thrift store because they had a pretty cool piece. Just recently, our local Goodwill had like 4 of these, but they had like 20 bucks a piece on them, which is probably about what they're worth, or maybe a little more. But I was never interested in paying that much for these. But this one in particular, about 3 years ago, I purchased this, and it was only $8, and I'm glad I put it into it because this thing is in really nice shape. And that is a Guitar Hero 2 guitar for PS2, complete in box, which is really, really cool. I'll go ahead and open this one just because it's easy to do. But very, very nice shape. It has the guitar, the strap, the game. Everything's here, which is really, really cool. To find this for $8, I thought that was a really good deal. So very, very cool. The box is in great shape, which is, that's what sealed my purchasing decision, because usually I see these, they're kind of all torn up and you know, half of it's missing, like the top half of the box is gone or something like that. Something would be missing, the strap, something. But since this one looks like it was like adult owned and very good shape, I was really, really happy to find it. So very cool. Alright, so there is PS2. Next we'll go ahead and get into GameCube here. There's only one piece for GameCube, but it's still a really unique boxed piece. I found this at our local pawn shop, Mr. Money. It's a chain here in the northwest part of the States, I guess, or the western part of the States. And very, very cool piece. This was only $10, which is incredible. This was missing the game that goes in this set, but I eventually pieced it together myself. But the box was what I was mainly excited about. It's a little rough around the edges, but that's not too big a deal. Just, you know, counting on its age and everything like that. It is a little bit older. It is from GameCube era, so, I mean, it's about 12 years old at least, I'd say. So, very, very cool. But that is the Donkey Konga set with the original bongos in the original box here. As I said before, there is some edging wear here, stuff like that. It's not that great of condition, but it's definitely really cool because it's the original box. I did put the game in there, so I probably paid about $12 after putting the game in there. So originally the box with the bongos was $10, so about $12 was completing this. But very, very cool piece. I thought it was really cool to get for the collection just because you don't see them all the time in the box like this. I've seen plenty of bongos just by themselves. You know, a lot of pawn shops can never sell them because no one really uses them all the time unless you're, you know, a person that loved this game. But I'm a really huge Donkey Kong fan, so this was a definite piece to put in the collection because I just love Donkey Kong stuff. So very, very cool. Alright, so there's the one and only boxed GameCube item that I have to show you guys, besides, you know, when we get into consoles and stuff. But that was still a really cool, unique piece to show. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and get into some Wii items here. Very, very cool pieces here. A couple of them I have shown in the, I actually did show these in the Wii game collection video, but since they're part of the accessory category as well, I'll go ahead and show them again, just so you guys can see them, you know, 2 times, I guess you could say. It's not that entirely big of a deal, but if you guys, you know, are like, oh wow, we've seen this already, sorry for that, but it's going to be shown this time as well, just because they're accessories as well. But I'll get to them here in a second, but I'll go ahead and show the stuff that you guys most likely have not seen from my videos. I don't think I've shown these. But the first piece here, very, very cool. Just recently picked this up from a garage sale. It came with a couple of systems and stuff. I bought a huge bundle from this one guy at a garage sale, which was really cool. But this happened to be one of the pieces, and it is for the Wii, of course. And that is a complete in box pink Wiimote here. It's the Wii Motion Plus version, which is really, really cool. Definitely a unique piece. I hardly ever seen the pink Wiimote, and for it to be in the original box like this was really, really cool. I was definitely excited to see that. So, very cool. There's the Wiimote. Then we have a complete in box black Wii wheel, which is really, really cool. I don't remember if I bought this from a pawn shop or what, but I think it was only $5, which is a really good deal for it to be in the original box like this. It definitely doesn't happen all the time to find an original boxed item like this, because most of the time the wheel by itself is worth $7 or $8, I'd say. So to get a boxed one for $5 is a really cool deal. Definitely pick those up if you see things like that. Those are cool to have. So there's that wheel. Then we've got another one here. This is just the basic white one, which is really cool. This one is actually factory new, which is really cool. The box is open, of course, but the wheel is brand new in the bag, which is really, really nice. I thought that was really cool when I bought this one. I don't remember exactly where this one came from, but I do remember seeing it, I think it was a lot, but I cannot remember exactly off the top of my head. But I definitely do not see the sealed ones, or the new in baggy ones like this a lot. I hardly see boxed anything like this, so when I saw it like that in that condition, I thought it was awesome. So just real quick to show you, I can show you that it is in the original bag, which is really, really cool. Go ahead and take it out of the tray, if I can, maybe, hopefully. I don't want to rip the box or anything, but there it is. It is brand new. Very, very cool. I've never seen one brand new like this before, unless you, of course, went to Walmart and got one and kept it that way. But very, very cool. definitely a unique piece for sure. I thought that was awesome, so very cool. Alright, so there's that. Then these next 3 pieces I did show, I believe, in the Wii game collection video, but they're going to go ahead and be in this part too, just because they're accessory pieces as well. But this one, again, real quick, I just showed it in the game collection video just, because it was convenient. It was right there, so I decided to show it. But I'll go ahead and show it in this one. It makes more sense in this video. But we have another Wii wheel in the box. This one's missing the cardboard tray, but it is a variant. It is the blue box version, which is really cool. I do believe this is our original. I don't remember. I don't remember if it was... I think it was. I don't remember what happened to the cardboard tray. But I think this is one of our original wheels, which, really cool. I thought it was awesome to see that I ended up picking up a variant for it, because usually I just buy a box controller, it doesn't matter, but it's cool that it's a variant at the same time. And then these 2 pieces I know for a fact, made a little more sense being in the game collection video for the Wii, but we'll go ahead and show them here too, because there's different parts to it. And that is Mario Kart Wii in the box here, in the big box, which is really, really cool. This one I had to piece together myself. I ended up buying a separate copy of Mario Kart to put in here because it was just the box and the wheel for $5 from our outdoor flea market. So that was really a good deal, but then I ended up paying like $5 for a Mario Kart Wii to stick in here. So in total I paid $10 for this big box, which is really, really cool. And this other one is our original I think we got this from our aunt and uncle for Christmas. And of course we have the game and everything separated from it because we use it. So, but we still kept the original box, which is really cool. But it's just unique to have these pieces because Mario is a really big thing, obviously. And to have the boxes to show for it and everything, that's just awesome. So, very, very cool. The one that we have is empty completely. It's just a completely empty box. But this one has more stuff in it, of course. It's complete. So, very, very cool. I thought that was awesome. Alright, so there's those. So now we'll go ahead and get into PS3. The reason I had, PS2 and then Wii, because it's just a little bit of an era gap. I guess we had our Wii before we ever got a PS3, so that's kind of where I was going with it. But anyway, it's not too big of a deal. This next item here, I got this and a lot of stuff off of eBay once again. Nothing too spectacular, but it's factory sealed and it will most likely stay that way. And it is a charging stand for PS3 controllers. It's an aftermarket brand, but it's still pretty cool because it's a factory sealed item. Not a whole lot of chargers and stuff like that would be factory sealed. Most people would buy something like this to actually use it. So I'm not too sure on the story of this, but it's cool. It's factory sealed. I know it's not name brand, but it's still really cool. So very nice piece to have for the collection. All right, and then we've got 2 more PS3 items here. I remember specifically picking up one of these back when it was first a thing. Back when it was only for one Christmas season. I ended up going on a Black Friday, but it was like late in the day. It was like probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was surprised Target still had one. They had 2 as a matter of fact. I probably should have bought both, but I only bought one. But I've kept it factory sealed ever since. And I think this was back in 2012. So this thing is about 4 years old, which is really cool. But it's a unique piece for sure, and it was exclusive to Target only. But it's definitely an awesome piece to have in the collection. And that is the Crimson Red PS3 controller. Very, very cool. The box is a little worn from, keeping it on the shelf and everything. But it's really cool controller. It's just the see-through red controller, which is definitely unique. And I love how it says only at Target on there because it was a Target exclusive piece. And I just found that really interesting. I got this for $35, which is a great deal because I think things like this are worth a lot more now just because it was only out for one season. So it's definitely unique for sure, but definitely an awesome controller. When I bought this, I never had the intention of actually opening it. I bought it more for the fact of just keeping it sealed, just because of how cool it would be to have something like that for the future. So very cool. Then this other one, Tyler actually takes credit for this one. He found this one while I was on a hunting trip with our dad, and he actually went to Walmart with our mom one day, and this was on like a clearance. This was probably, this was before Black Friday, I believe. and this was in October, so yeah, a couple months before, or yeah, a month before, I guess, because Black Friday's in November. But anyway, this is a very, very cool condition controller. I just now realized how nice it is. It's really cool. I love how this still has the original, like, you know, Walmart, everything on it has I just looked on the back, it has the original Walmart sticker on it and everything, because it was on clearance, and I thought that was awesome. But anyway, this is a Walmart exclusive only, which it's just like the Target one, and that is the slate gray PS3 controller. And you can see it was purchased at $44.96, which is really cool. It's only $10 cheaper than what it, you know, regularly goes for, but still, to be factory sealed, this is a really cool, unique piece. There was only 2 on the clearance table. Kind of wish we would have got both, but unfortunately, once again, it was just that grab one and go kind of thought. But I cannot complain. I still have one. It's factory sealed. It's going to stay that way. But this is basically just like the smoke clear one on PS2 or whatever. Very, very cool controller. I definitely am very happy with this. I think it is worth more than $45 now, complete in the box like this, sealed. But yeah, my intention was once again to get one just to have for the collection and keep it sealed. The only one I wish I would have got was the Oceanic Blue one. That was also a Walmart only exclusive. But unfortunately, when I went to buy one, they were completely out, and it was really sucky because that would have been a great controller to have for the collection sealed. But anyways, at least I have those 2, so very, very cool. Alright, and then the last set of box accessories here goes for the PS4, and they're just a couple controllers, but they're pretty unique. Well, the one is for sure, but I'll go ahead and show this first one. This is actually Tyler's controller box. The controller isn't actually in it. He uses the controller constantly, but I'll still show the box because it's, you know, at least we kept it. But he got this controller for Christmas, and very, very cool. But it is the blue one. I don't remember what the terminology is for the actual color, but it is the just the box. Very, very cool. I thought this was awesome. The box is in really good shape. We tried to take care of the, you know, opening it and everything. We didn't want to ruin it. So very, very cool. Definitely an awesome, you know, to have something for the newer generation console to have the original box and stuff. I thought that was awesome. So very, very cool. Alright, and then this last piece, I personally went on to eBay and bought this because it's definitely unique. They only made this as a limited edition, which is really, really cool. This was a buy it now option. I think it was like $62 or something after shipping, but I had a gift card that I had from Christmas and I used it for this. And I'm glad I bought this because they're not sold in stores anymore, I don't believe, but definitely still a really awesome piece. And that is the 20th anniversary edition PS4 controller. It has the original like style of the PS1 controller where it's the gray color, and it has the original like PlayStation logo as the home button, which is really, really cool. Definitely going to be leaving this sealed just because of how unique this piece is. It's not common, and it's just really cool to have a factory sealed one. I feel like it'd be cooler to just keep it sealed than to actually use it, but if I do find an open one, I will use it just because it's really cool. But since this one is sealed, I really want to keep it that way just to see what value it holds in the future, especially sealed one. It's a limited edition piece. I thought that was really cool. So very, very cool boxed item here. So awesome. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for all the boxed and, you know, like the more cool accessories and controllers, things like that. So now we're going to go ahead and get into some bags and stuff. What I mean by is we'll have some console cases and some game cases and stuff like that that'll hold, you know, they're like travel bags, stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and get into that next. Okay guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get into all of the console accessory bags, stuff like that, the carrying and travel cases, things like that. There are a couple that you will not see right now. You'll see them during the actual console part. I actually use them, so it'll kind of spoil it if I show them now because there actually is things in them. So I'll go ahead and just show you the loose ones that aren't being used, and then we'll go from there. There's several different consoles here. There's some NES and some N64, PS1, stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and get into them. Alright, the first couple here, these are for NES. They're not for the console, they're actually for cartridges, which is really cool. But we actually have these two cases here. They're the, I guess you could say they're the leather cases. I think that's the kind of they're a leather kind of style. But this one holds 15 cartridges, and then this one holds 10. Very, very cool pieces. Definitely not common to come across. I love how they have the logo for Nintendo on the front there. It's very, very cool. But yeah, they're just the buckle style. They just open up pretty simple, I guess, if you can. They're older, so I don't want to ruin it, but they should open pretty nicely if you're patient with it. But you can store cartridges and stuff in there, and it's really, really cool. I personally don't use them for anything. I just have them as decorative pieces. But they are really cool to store cartridges and stuff like that. So, very cool. The bigger one I know for sure is a little bit harder to find, but it's definitely really cool. So, there's those. Very nice. Then we've got some original Game Boy and Game Boy Color ones. I'll just go ahead and show them kind of all at once a little bit here. Just because, well, these three I'll show all at once just because they're all the same style. But we've got one original Game Boy one there, and another one here, and then we've got a Game Boy Color one, which is the similar style. They're all Nintendo brand, which is really, really cool. I don't use these for anything. They're just more of a decorative piece, but they're very, very cool. They're definitely from the era. You can just tell by the embroidery and, you know, the age to them and everything, but very, very cool. I thought these were awesome. So there's those. Very cool. Alright, and then we have two more here. I've got a really cool original Game Boy one here as well. It's a little bit smaller. It doesn't have a strap or anything. It's just more of a carrying one. You just carry it around. Very, very cool. And then we also have this Game Boy Color Pokemon one, which is really, really cool. Love Pokemon stuff, so that's really, really cool piece. I love the embroidery and everything on these cases. They're just awesome. So, very cool. So there's those. And this next one for the N64 is probably one of my favorite ones, just because of the special style to it. I've never seen anything like it, and I definitely do love this one. And that is, it's just a basic bag for the N64 console. It can hold a couple of games, things like that. But very, very cool. And that is a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time bag, which is really, really cool. It's really thin, but you can put a console in here and a couple of games and like a controller and stuff. It does not seem like it could do that, but there is pouches and everything inside of it. So it's more of like a dust cover, I guess you could say, than an actual bag. But very, very cool. I love the Zelda design on it. It's really cool. So there's that. Then we've got some PS1 bags, which is really, really cool. Couple different styles here. This first one I got from our uncle. He used to have a PS1, but he doesn't have it anymore. But still very cool. It's just the basic. It has a spot for the console, and then you can put a controller and the cords in here. So very, very cool. So there's that one. And this one I remember getting from Goodwill or something like that, which is really cool. It's a really nice design. You know, again, you just put the console in it, and then the cords and stuff can go in the front here, some games, whatever. I do believe there's an N64 one that is just like this as well, that has the N64 logo on the front. But the embroidery and everything is really, really cool. So that's awesome. So there's that one. Then this last one here is a PlayStation Underground one, which I just recently got from a garage sale with a PS1 and everything. Very, very cool piece. As a matter of fact, this came with that Mad Catz race wheel, that bundle, that same garage sale. So very, very cool bag. I was really happy to see this. This was more of a promotional. I think he had to mail in for it, so it's really, really cool. So anyway, there's the PS1 bags. Really cool. Unfortunately, I don't have any Super Nintendo or PlayStation 2 bags, anything like that, but still, I got a pretty good amount of bags for other consoles, so very cool. Alright, so the next set here is for the GameCube, which is really cool. I'll go ahead and show this one first. I showed this in the GameCube game video, the collection video. Don't know too much why I did that, but I'll just go ahead and show it again. And that is the GameCube console bag here, which is really cool. I actually do have a controller and cords in here. There's no GameCube, but what's really cool about this is that when you put a console in here, the handle for the console sticks out here, so you can actually carry it, which is really, really cool. I thought that was a great idea. But very cool bag, very nice condition. I love that. Got that for a few bucks from our local ARC thrift store, so very cool. Then I have this really cool Spider-Man GameCube disc carrying case here, very cool. Holds a bunch of disc-onlys and stuff. I got a bunch of disc-only games from Craigslist a few years back, and those came in this, so I decided to keep the case, so that was really cool. And then this last piece for GameCube is this Nintendo GameCube game disc case as well. And it actually has some space for some Wii games, which is really, really cool. Definitely unique. I have never seen a duo case like that before, so that was really cool. So there's those. Very cool. Alright, and then got a few more over here. The rest of these are all for handhelds, which is really cool. I'll go ahead and show all these at once here, just because they're smaller, they're easier to fit on screen. But we have one Game Boy Advance case here, and we've got a really cool looking camouflage one here, and then we've got a slightly smaller one here. They all have the straps and everything, which is really cool. I definitely love the camo one just because the design and everything looks really cool. And this one's also really nice. But then the smaller one's kind of like the original Game Boy one. It's got that same style to it. But this one has the actual strap and everything on it. But very, very cool. I love the bags. They're really cool designs. And they're just really convenient if you want to go somewhere and you want to carry all your stuff with. They're really good for that. That's their main purpose. So very cool. Alright, so there's those. Then we've got some Game Boy Advance SP cases, which is really cool. One of them I use when we go on like road trips and stuff. I'll carry my SP in it and stuff, which is really cool. Definitely a unique case, but it's smaller, so it's just convenient. And that is this little purple one here. Very cool. This is the one I use a lot. Then we got this really cool Intech one, which holds basically just the console. I don't know if you can fit a charger in there or not. I've never really tried, but still really cool. Then we've got this other purple one here, which is really nice. Very cool. And then we've got two of the same style here, just different fabric. We got a really nice black leather one here, and then we've got this fabric felt kind that's, you know, a dark grayish color. But very, very cool. Definitely unique pieces to have for the collection. And a lot of people don't collect things like this sometimes, so I thought, you know, they're really cool to pick up. So when I find them at like a thrift store or whatever, I'll go ahead and just grab them. But very cool pieces. I thought those were awesome. Alright, and then we got a couple more, and then we'll move on. So there's those. Alright, two more here. And these both are for Nintendo DS, which is really cool. First one here is this pink one. I think I recently got that with a DS Lite from the big flea market, the outdoor flea market, which is really cool. Very cool piece. It's definitely smaller, so it's basically pocket size, so it's really cool. And then we've got this hard case one, which is really cool. Holds a car charger, the wall charger, and it holds, you can put some cartridge-only games in there. Very unique piece. I love it. It looks really cool. Definitely very useful if you go on road trips, stuff like that. It's very, you know, heavy duty, so nothing will break or anything like that. So very, very cool. Alright, so that's going to do it for the bags. Now we're going to get into the moment you guys were really waiting for, and that is the actual consoles. So we're going to go ahead and get into all of the loose consoles. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the loose consoles, and there's quite a bit of them, so we're going to try to go through them a little bit quickly, just because there's a lot of duplicates, but there's a reason behind them, so I'll explain them as I show them. But for this first little bit here, they're not really game consoles, they're kind of like handhelds a little bit. They are plug and plays, but I'll go ahead and explain why I'm showing them now instead of in the, I kind of explained them in the handheld game collection video as well, but I'll go ahead and show them because I did find them, so I'll go ahead and explain those. But what we have here is we have a SpongeBob one, a Miss Pac-Man one, a Frogger one, and then an RCA plug and play one here. These are all our originals except for the Frogger one, but I mentioned that I did not know where they were, but I actually went digging and I found them in one of the bins in the closet, and so I decided I wanted to show them now just because they're worth showing because they're our childhood ones for the most part, and they're just really cool. But anyways, yeah, the ones that we have are missing the battery covers. For some reason, I don't know why we took those off. But the Frogger one is one of our first one of the first plug and plays that we just picked up during the video game collection videos, the pickups videos. And then this RCA one is the one that our dad used to have in his truck. We used to have little TV screens that he'd have on the headrests, and we used to watch movies and stuff on that when we'd go on road trips and things like that. But we don't have those TVs anymore, but we still have the game thing, so that's really cool. So anyways, there's those. Thought I'd figured to start off with those. So we got those, and then the next couple of things are not really game consoles either, but they are really unique, so I'll just go ahead and show them. So anyway, the next couple of things here, these were, as a matter of fact, these were both found at garage sales, which is really cool. They're really uncommon, but they're really cool at the same time. But I'll go ahead and show them, and then I'll kind of talk about them a little bit here. But we have these two pinball machines here, which are really, really cool. We got the Donkey Kong one, and then we got a Crash Team Racing one. The Crash Team Racing one I've never seen before or heard about. I didn't know they made them for PlayStation characters or anything. I know they have Nintendo ones. I think there's a Banjo-Kazooie one. I'm not positive. I do know there's a Super Mario 64 one. But they are very unique pieces. They're definitely uncommon. They're basically just a tabletop game. It's just a little pinball machine, but they both work great. They're really cool. The Donkey Kong one's a little beat up, but it's not too bad. But to find both of those at garage sales was really cool. They're definitely uncommon. But the Crash one I never knew existed, so that was really exciting when I saw that at a garage sale. But very cool little pieces. They're definitely awesome. This is as close to like a real pinball machine that I'll probably get, at least for a long time. But they're really, really cool, so I thought those were awesome. So there's those. Alright, so now we can go ahead and get into the actual game consoles. So, first ones here, I'll go ahead and show both at the same time. And I'm going to go ahead and show the games that I have for them too, because there's not a whole lot. I didn't want to show the games in a separate game collection video because there's not enough to really make a video out of them. So I'll go ahead and show them here, but I'll go ahead and show the consoles first. But we have here two Atari 2600 consoles here. Very, very cool. I found both of these this year, which is exciting. They're definitely not easy to come by for me. I've never really seen them before until this year. Really cool. But we have the light sixer here and then a force switch. Unfortunately, I have never come across a heavy six or anything, which is very uncommon. Very cool pieces, though. I love the Atari. It's a really fun setup. Funny thing is I picked up the force switch first. It had the power adapter, but no TV box. But when I picked up this one at the flea market, the big outdoor flea market, just a couple weeks ago from this video, it came with the TV box, which is really cool. So at least I have one full set of cords. I tested both of these, and they both work, which is really, really cool. But very nice. They both have two controllers each, and I also have a set of paddles for Pong and stuff. So very cool. So there's the consoles. And then I'll go ahead and show the games real quick. There's 8 of them, so it's, like I said, it wasn't going to be worth making an actual video on them, just because it would be very, very short. But I'll go ahead and show them pretty quick here. First one here we have is Asteroids. Very cool. Berserk. Defender. Frogger. Could use an upgrade, but for now it's really fun. I mean, it's playable, so that's good. Then we've got Galaxian, which is really cool. Missile Command. Space Invaders. And then the last one, which is probably one of my favorite ones, is Super Breakout. So very cool, nice little set of games. Those came with the Force Switch one, which was the first one I ever picked up. But definitely very cool to have an Atari fully set up, you know, and everything. You can hook it up and everything. It's really cool, so very awesome. Alright, this next one here, this next little set here, it's not really a set, it's just console only. Very hard to track down a controller and cords for this. This was picked up the first trip we made to the big outdoor flea market this year. Very, very exciting to find. I was really happy when I found this. Definitely unique, very uncommon console, and that is a TurboGrafx 16. Very unique, very cool. I do not know if it works because, like I said, I don't have any cords, or I definitely don't have a controller or anything. I know the games are fairly uncommon. You know, all this stuff is just uncommon in general. It's an uncommon console. So, but I thought it was a really cool thing to find. I was really happy to see this. But I picked this up for only 20 bucks, which was a really good deal. Even if it works or not, it's really cool to have. I'm just super stoked to have something like this in the collection. You don't see these things every day. It's really, really cool. So, there's that one. Very cool. Alright, and then this next stack here of consoles. They're all pretty much the same thing, but I'll go ahead and explain why I have these. The reason I have, multiple consoles, you'll see this throughout when I go through some of them. The reason I have multiple consoles is because if I ever come across like a box only or something, then I'll have a console to put it in, and then I can make a complete box console. That doesn't always happen. I've done that maybe once, but it's still a cool idea just in case I can get a cheaper box somewhere, and then I can complete the whole box set for cheap. So that's really the main reason why I have a bunch of just regular consoles. But every single console that I show has a full setup with at least one controller and all the original cords. So I don't really need to show each and every single one with the cords, just because you guys know what cords look like and everything. That would just be a hassle. So, but just to let you know, every single console that I have has its original cords and at least one controller with it. So here we go. The first one here. This kind of correlates with the console bags. This is why I didn't want to spoil it, because this has a console and everything in it. But that is the Nintendo Z bag here. I just recently picked this up, which is really, really cool. I thought it was a unique piece for sure. But this actually has an NES in it, which is really cool. Definitely awesome. I always wanted to do this, just have an NES to put in here, because it's just a really cool idea. Definitely unique to have a console bag like this, and then to put a console in it like it's meant to be for. So very, very cool. Definitely an awesome piece to have for the collection. But yeah, that is one of the consoles here. So there's that. Very cool. It does have a full set of cords in here and two controllers, so it's basically like a regular, back in the 80s style set, which I thought was really cool. So there's that. Then, here we go with these. We've got two more regular NESs here. Nothing too much to say about them. I basically told you why I have them, but here they are. Pretty nice consoles. They're not too yellowed or banged up or anything. They got pretty nice pin connectors in them. So usually throughout time, I'll try to get the best NES consoles I can when I pick them up, just so I can have the better ones for my box consoles if I ever get boxes and stuff. So that's what I mainly try to do. All right, and then we have these, which is really, really cool. We have not one, not two, but we have three NES top loaders here. And you're asking why three? Well, one is only fully working, unfortunately. This one fully works. These other two, there's one that has a bad reset button, and then the other one has no audio. I've just mainly picked these up throughout time. I've always wanted to get one, and I just never sold off the broken one, so I just kept, slightly upgrading until I finally found a fully working one. But yeah, I have three of these loose. They all have a full set of cords. I do have three NES Dogbone controllers. I just recently picked up another one. So these all at least have a full set and everything, so that's very cool. So yeah, two of them unfortunately don't fully work, but I do have a fully working one, so that is very cool. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and drop into Super Nintendo consoles. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the Super Nintendo consoles here. But first I want to show one console. I only have one of it. I'll go ahead and explain real quick. I used to have this stored away in a box in the closet, but just a couple days ago I decided to do this, and a couple other consoles I'll do this with as well. I'll explain to it when we get to those. But I'm going to actually set it up and hook it up to the TV just because I want to have it out and be able to use it and stuff like that. So that is what I decided to do with this console and a couple others, and I'll explain that when I get to those. But anyways, what we have here is a Model 2 Sega Genesis. Really cool. Got this off of eBay in a bundle with a bunch of games. I sold off most of the games because they were cartridge only and they weren't really anything I wanted to keep. Just because, if I were to keep anything Sega right now, I would kind of want it to be at least complete. Plus, I'm kind of out of space for most other consoles. That's why I don't collect a whole lot for other consoles right now. If I had more space, I would do it, but right now I'm kind of limited on space, so that's why I only collect for certain consoles. But anyways, I have the console here. It came with 2 controllers, or it came with 1 controller, but I've added another controller to it since. But it came with both cords, and then just recently I picked this up with another Sega Genesis. But I decided to keep this game, and that is a complete box copy of NBA Jam, which is really, really cool. That's the only Sega Genesis game I have right now, but a very cool one, so at least I have that. And then I have this really unique piece. It's nothing too spectacular, but it's the only other Sega piece I have, and that is the web browser for the Sega Dreamcast. So very cool. Those are the only Sega pieces that I have as of right now. So, but still, really cool. So there's that. Now we can go ahead and get into the Super Nintendo consoles here, and I've got quite a few of them. And as I mentioned before, I have these mainly because of getting console boxes. That's mainly why I have consoles here. And again, these all have a full set of cords and at least 1 controller. I have many controllers that you guys have seen in the game room tour. I have drawers full of controllers. Excuse me, but really cool. But here's 2 here. All right, so there's those. And then we've got 2 more. So yeah, they're all in pretty nice shape. None of them are yellowed or anything. This one right here was actually Bud's Super Nintendo. He's the one that I told you about. Our grandparents, are really good friends with him. He gave that to me along with some other stuff. But that's that one, I can tell you for sure, because I just remember specifically. That's the only one that's, the first model. It's the one without the sticker on the front. But that's that one. And we've got one more regular model here. And this one was actually custom painted red, which is really cool. It's not professionally done or anything, but it still looks pretty good. It's not bad. So I ended up winning that one, I believe, for like 20 bucks off eBay, which is pretty cool. Definitely a unique piece to have in the collection. If you guys have seen the intros and outros to these videos, it was sitting in the background. So very cool. All right, so there's those, and then we got one little piece left, and then we'll move on. Alright, so there's those. Alright, and then the last one here, in my opinion, is really cool. Pretty obscure. It's a lot like the top loader. And that is the Super Nintendo Mini, which is really cool. Definitely unique, not common, but it's still, you can obtain them. They're just, a little bit more expensive, and they're more popular, and that's pretty much what I see it as. It's a lot more of a popular console, but it's really cool. Just the only thing that's really sucky about it, the same thing the top loader, falls in this line. They don't have a light on it to tell you if it's on or not, so I'm pretty certain a lot of people would forget that they'd leave it on, and then it'd be staying on, and it would burn out, and stuff like that. But still, really cool console. So, and again, this has a full set of cords, and the actual matching controller that had just the Nintendo logo on it. I can go ahead and show you that real quick just to show you that there's a difference. But if you look at this, it's actually quite different because it has the Nintendo logo on the controller. It doesn't say Super Nintendo or anything, it just says Nintendo. So very cool, definitely an awesome piece. Alright, so that'll do it for the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo consoles. And now we'll go ahead and get into N64. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the N64 consoles here. Got quite a few of them here, and they're all pretty much different, so I'll go ahead and go through them one by one like before. Except for like Super Nintendo, I showed those all at once, but these will be like individuals. So here we go, here's the first one. First one here is just a basic one, but it is my buddy Anthony's N64. Very cool. He just ended up giving this to me. He didn't have any cords for it. So he didn't play it anymore, so he just let me have it. It also had a copy of WWF Attitude in it. That was his original copy, so he just let me have that. I have since then put real cords and everything with it, so it does have a full set. It's just I never really use it. I just have it more of a prop than anything. But he did have one controller with it, which is really cool. There's a football memory card in there too, which is really cool. So there's that. And then for another little throw-in bonus, this is my buddy Cameron's N64 cart. It's the only one he had when he gave it to me, but it's Madden 2001, which is nothing too spectacular, but still pretty cool. So there's those. Pretty cool. Just a couple little things that I've gotten from friends, but it's really cool that they just kind of gave me stuff. I thought that was awesome. Alright, so now here's where it gets into the really cool stuff. These are probably my favorite things to collect for the console wise. They're just really unique and I just love how they're special. So here we go. First one here is the Fire Orange N64. Really, really cool. This ended up coming with, or it didn't come with it. I had to put these together with it over time. But it does have a full set of 4 controllers here, which is really, really cool. It did originally come with 1, but I've had to put 3 with it, you know, over time. I've had to build up. But that's my main goal with these consoles, is to try to get 4 matching controllers with it, because it's, you know, a 4-player console. So why not try to get 4 matching controllers for it? So very cool. So there's the orange one. Next one here, this one's also really, really cool. It is the watermelon red one, which is really nice as well. I love that color as well. My favorite one personally is the orange one, but the rest of these are all really cool too. But still nice. But again, this one has, there's 2. And then there's 4. So it did come with, again, didn't come with, this one came originally with 2, so I had to over time piece 2 more together with it. But very, very cool. I like getting them complete like this. It looks really cool to have a full set of 4 controllers. It's just a really unique, you know, thing to say have for a collection. I think it's awesome. If you guys like collecting 64, I think these are, you know, they complement any collection. They're just unique pieces. I know they're really late and they're getting really expensive now, but if you can get your hands on them at a garage sale or something, they're definitely worth picking up. So very, very cool. So there's the watermelon red one. So we'll go ahead and move those. All right. Next one here, also a pretty cool one. By the way, all these, most of these did have expansion packs in them. That's why when you saw the loose expansion packs I showed earlier and stuff, those were mainly coming from these. So I just put a bunch of regular jumper packs in these just because that's what they, I don't know, that's what I feel like they should all have as a base unit. But anyways, here is the ice blue one, which is really cool. Very nice as well. And this one only has 3, but still very cool. I do have to keep a lookout for the 4th one. The controllers are not too easy to come by, so it is pretty hard. But still, for now, at least I have, you know, 3 of the 4, so that's really cool. Alright, so there's the ice blue one. Next one here. Really cool. This is the only one that is missing the jumper pack lid, which is unfortunate, but at least I have the console for now. If I have to in the future, it'll probably be easier to just find one with the lid, because the lid is pretty much expensive, you know, anyways, just for a piece of plastic. But anyways, that is the Great Purple N64 here. Very, very cool. Again, it is pretty sad to see that it is missing the lid, but it's not the end of the world. Most of these consoles, these colored ones, were found locally, which is cool, so that's why I'm, you know, still not too worried about it. It's still pretty exciting. But this one has 2 controllers with it. Again, I picked this console up. It didn't have any matching controllers with it, so I had to piece it together. But still, very, very cool. So there's that one. And again, all these consoles have their, you know, necessary cords and everything, so they all are full complete, at least with 1 controller. So that's what's cool. Alright, so there's that. Alright, next one here. I'm going to go again and get into this one. This one I think is pretty cool as well. Definitely unique for sure. This one I know for a fact came off of eBay. I do believe the ice blue one did as well, but the rest of these colored ones were local. But this one was an eBay lot as well, and that is the clear smoke one, which is really cool. Definitely a unique color. Basically just the regular black one, just see-through, but still really, really cool idea to make it colored like that. But this one also only has 2 controllers, but still very nice. At least I have 2 of the 4, so if I can always come across them, I will pick them up, but they're not too common, like I said. Unfortunately, they're really hard to find, especially with good thumbsticks. I mean, for the most part, they have pretty good thumbsticks because they were all later controllers, but sometimes you'll see some beat up ones. But for the most part, all mine have really nice joysticks, so that's cool. Alright, so there is that one. Alright, and then the last one that's a part of the series here This one I got from our local pawn shop, one of our local pawn shops anyway, and that is the jungle green one, which is really, really cool. Very nice color. It's probably the most common colored one, but still really, really cool. I can't complain about it. I like the color. I like them all, to be honest with you. But that one there's 2 of them. And then here are the other 2. So it does have 4. Again, it only came with 1, but I, over time, pieced it together with the other 3. So not too big a deal. This one, like I said, is probably the most common colored one. So it'd probably be the easiest to complete getting 4 controllers for this one specifically, just because it's the most common colored one. Even though it is still pretty hard to find, it is the most common colored one. So still really, really cool. So there's that one. Alright, and then these last 2 that I'm going to show you are probably the most uncommon ones there are. And by no means necessary did I pay cheap prices for these. These were actually, I did pay full price for these ones, but they are well worth having. So very, very cool. But the next one here, I have to say, is probably one of the coolest ones. I have to say, you know, it's just quite a unique piece. You definitely don't see it every day. I've only seen one in the wild once before, but I finally have one. And that is the Zelda Toys R Us Limited Edition Gold console here. Very, very cool. And it did come with 2 matching controllers, which is really, really cool. Definitely don't see these every day. These are very, very hard to come by just because of how late they were and just how, you know, I've seen some that are just really, really scratched and beat up. And for this one to be in the nicest condition I've seen, I thought that was awesome. This was an eBay purchase. I did have, what was it? I think it was a gift card, but still it was a full price paid. I did not win it in an auction or anything. It was like 125 bucks, I think. What, you know, it was a buy it now only, and it was a pawn shop that was selling it, I think, and it was really cool. But I wanted to buy it because I had not seen it anywhere else, and I might as well have bought it off of eBay if I could get it for a good price and a good condition one. I mean, I saw some on there that were like 150, and they were all scratched up, and the joystick on one of the controllers was really bad. But so if I was going to put money towards it, I wanted to get a good one. So that's what I did here. So very, very cool. Definitely a unique N64 console. Then the last one here, very, very cool. I do not have a matching controller for it yet because it's a really expensive controller and very hard to find. But at least I have the console for now. And that is the special limited edition Pikachu Pokemon one, which is very, very cool. This one I got locally at our game store, Games Ahoy. This one I think was 140. I'm not positive, but I do believe that's about where it was at. I had a bunch of, you know, gift card money and birthday money saved up, and I bought this one just because I knew if I didn't buy it when I saw it, I was going to lose out on it because people around here like buying this kind of stuff. So I decided to hop on it right when I saw it just because I knew someone would buy it before I would be able to. And they've only had a couple of these in their store for the last 4 years that they've been open, and it's not too often that people come in and trade this kind of stuff in. So I've only seen, I think, 3 of these at the game store, and that was it. And this one is in really nice shape just because it has the jumper pack lid and it has the Ash sticker on it, which is really cool. But yeah, no matching controller, but hopefully one day I can find one of those. But I do have a copy of Hey You Pikachu in it because that's what it's supposed to come with. But yeah, I don't have the microphone yet either. But hopefully I can come across those pieces. So, very, very cool console. That was awesome. Alright, the last couple little pieces here that I'll show just for, you know, bonus throw in, then we'll get into the next set of consoles. But these 2 are unique pieces as well, both for N64, and they're very, very cool, but very uncommon. And I'm glad I won these. I got one of them. I'll just explain. I'll show them when I'll explain what I got them for and everything. But here we have the Extreme Green N64 controller and the Donkey Kong 64 Banana controller, which is really, really cool. The Extreme Green one I got off of eBay for, I think, a winning bid of like $17.50, which is a really good deal. It had a really bad joystick on it, so I switched it out with a better one of just a regular gray controller. So it wasn't too big a deal. And then the Donkey Kong 64 controller actually came with a N64 console. I don't think they knew what kind of controller it was when they put it with it, So that was a really cool bonus, and that actually came out of Denver, which is really cool. It was an eBay 1 auction, but it wasn't too far for them to ship it, so that was really, really cool. So anyways, there's those. Very cool controllers for sure. Definitely not common at all, but definitely really, really cool. So that's awesome. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get into PlayStation 1. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the PS1 consoles, and then we'll move into the PS2 consoles as well. So first, I'll go ahead and show these. We've got 4 mini PS1 consoles here. For the same reason, again, in case I ever get boxes for consoles, these are what I mainly have those for. And they just have memory cards stuck in them just to make them look more, a little bit more decorational on the shelf and everything. It just looks a little cooler. And what I did not mention in the video game collection videos, this is mainly, you know, going for PS2 and GameCube. I want to try and get memory cards for every single game. I know that's a long shot, but it's definitely really cool to see every game, when you open it, has a memory card in there with it. So very cool idea. It's just going to take me a long time to do something like that. But anyways, so there's the PS1s. Very cool. And then we'll go ahead and get into the PS2 consoles. I don't have any loose, fat PS1s. I really have no intention on doing that just because I really don't need that many PS1s. I mean, I know I have the mini PS1s, but they're just a little more valuable than the fat ones. So that's mainly why I have a bunch of loose mini PS1s as well. So, but anyways, again, those all have their cords and matching controllers, so that's part of that. So, alright, let's get into the PS2s. So, first one here, very, very cool. Nothing too spectacular, I guess, but still it's cool to have. And that is the black slim PS2 here. Again, it has the 2 memory cards in it. I did that with every PS2 I've got, really. That sits on the shelf. But very cool, just the basic black one. So that's cool. That I'm not holding on to for a box. I just like to have a loose one, so that's cool. Next one here, also a very cool one. This one I remember getting from our local Mr. Money pawn shop for $5. They said it didn't work, but really it just came with a PSP charger, which they messed up on pretty big. But that's the black slim PS2 here as well, but it's the one that has the shiny gloss side to it. And it also has a different power adapter. It doesn't use the brick anymore, it just uses the cord, just the wall cord. So very cool, thought that was awesome. So those are both variants, which is interesting. I like how they went from the brick back to just a regular wall power plug again. It's interesting. Alright, next one here is the satin silver one. Very, very cool. Not too scratched up. I've seen some pretty bad ones, but this one looks pretty good. I just have to find the other variant to the satin silver one, which is, you know, it has a flat, more flat face to it, which is a little bit different of a design, but still, it's like the black slim with the smooth gloss side. It's like that style. But then the last PS2 here, slim anyway, just recently picked this one up, which is really cool, and that is the white one here, which would come with the SingStar Pop bundle. Very uncommon PS2, but very, very cool. This one's in really nice shape, especially since, you know, kids owned it and everything. It was really cool how nice they kept it. But it also has a really rare emerald green memory card in there with it, which I decided to put, you know, why not put the rare memory card with the rare console? So, very, very cool. Alright, this next one is very, very cool as well. I mentioned him a couple times, from my buddy George that I know from Goodwill. He picked this up from a Goodwill down in Denver, and he brought it up to me. He said, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's really cool." So I ended up trading him 2 NES consoles and some games for it, straight across. So I basically put about $50 into this. But from my understanding, this is a European console, and it's a part of a series, and it's a part of a, it's called the Motor Paint series. And this is a silver fat PS2, guys. Very, very cool. As you can see, it's all complete gloss and shiny. It has the matching base and everything to it. What's interesting about it is it does have like the basic black parts to it, like a regular PS2 would, but most of it is a shiny gloss paint color. And like they said, it is like a car motor paint color, which is really cool. It feels like a car paint, so it's really cool. It did come with the actual cords, you know, and they work just as well, you know, on US wall sockets and everything, so there's no problem there. And then it came with the matching controller. And this isn't just a basic satin silver one. It actually has that same gloss style to it, like the console itself. So, very cool. It is a part, yeah, like I said, it's a European console, but it works, you know, on US TVs and everything just the same. as a regular US console would. So, but I remember looking this up and I did some research, and the set I believe had a yellow one, a blue one, a red one, and then that silver one. So I have no means in trying to look for all those, but I'm just saying that the silver one is just really cool. So awesome. Alright, and then this last console here for this section. This is same deal like I was saying with the Sega Genesis. This is what I want to do. I want to hook this console up as well, just because I want to have it on the shelf and be able to use it and stuff. And it comes in a really cool carrying case, and it is an original Xbox here. Very, very cool carrying case here. I used to just keep it stored in here, but I'm going to go ahead and hang it up, or hook it up, I mean. And there it is. Very, very cool. Very nice shape. It does have the cords and a controller packed right in here. So very, very cool. Nothing too spectacular. It wasn't a modded one or anything like that. It's just a basic Xbox. It's never been opened up or anything, but it's a very clean unit. And the disc tray is very nice. I've come across a few that have really sticky disc trays, but this one is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and hook that one up and be able to have that one, playable and everything, instead of just having it sitting in the bag in the corner over there. So anyways, we'll go ahead and get into the GameCubes and stuff. Okay guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the GameCube consoles here. Again, same thing, they all have their original cords and at least one controller. But yes, I do have several controllers for each console and stuff. Every console I own has that same kind of deal. I've just gotten so many controllers over the years of collecting. I've just kind of filled the drawers full of controllers and stuff. But anyway, at least these have a full set each. So I'll go ahead and show them. We've got the indigo purple one, the platinum silver one, and then I just recently upgraded this one, and that is the jet black one. All three are in very nice shape, very clean consoles. GameCube is really, really cool, so it was cool to finally get all three versions of the color, because they're, there's a couple I'm missing. I mean, there's the Pokemon XD one, I think, that's the platinum silver one. I'm not sure if there was like a Zelda one or not, but definitely looking out for, the Pokemon XD one, because that was really, really cool. So anyways, really cool. I love trying to keep the consoles as nice as possible. I like trying to find the better looking ones. Believe me, I have come across a few rough ones, but they're, for the most part, these ones are in really nice shape. So very cool. So there's those. Then we have a special little case here, which I love the most. This is probably my favorite piece. I'm going to go ahead and unlock it right now, just so it's, off camera I can kind of see it better when I do it. But here we go. We have this huge metal case here, which is really, really cool. This was purchased from a, family friend from a local pawn shop. We've known these people for many, many years. One of the guys that I talked to a lot down there, he used to own his own game store down in Denver back in the 90s and stuff, in the early 2000s. And he used to get import stuff all the time, which is really, really cool. And he had this for such a long time, and he asked me if I wanted, he'd sell it to me. So I bought this for $100, which is a really good deal for what it is. I can't believe, how nice it is, everything. It's just really cool. It came in this case, which is really cool, and that is the Spice Orange Nintendo GameCube, which is very, very cool. This is the, only released in Japan, but it has been formatted to play North American games, which is really, really cool. Very, very nice GameCube. It's impressive how nice this thing is. But there's the GameCube. It originally came with two controllers, but he, said they're not too hard to find because the controllers were sold here, but not the console. So I went on an expedition, and over the course of like a year and a half, I believe, I found two more, and I finally got a four, controller set for the GameCube, which really looks cool. I love how I have four matching controllers for it. So, and it has the original cords, which are the Japanese cords, but they plug into North American outlets and everything and work great. It's really, really cool. As a bonus, you probably saw this. This I keep in here because this is a very, very rare Mortal Kombat 2 CD that was only given out as like a promotional item. Very, very hard to find. I did not know what this was when I first picked it up. I got this at a garage sale for 50 cents, but it's worth now don't quote me on this because I'm not sure. The only one I ever saw that sold on Amazon went for $350. So this is a very unique piece, definitely uncommon. It is, soundtrack music. It's the soundtrack for the actual arcade cabinet, so it's definitely really cool. The disc looks brand new. I have no idea how these people got it. I think they probably just got it from a promotional thing or a mail-in or something. I'm not sure what it's from, but it's definitely uncommon. So I keep that in here with the uncommon GameCube as well, just because it's a metal case. It protects everything. So, but very, very cool. I love this thing. I was really happy to, hear him mention this, and he's like, "You want it? I'll sell it to you." And I was like, "That's awesome. I will definitely take that." And he said I could pay him in increments too, and I just whipped out the 100 instantly and just bought it from him straight across, just because I knew as soon as I bought that that'd be probably one of the most coolest pieces in the collection. So I really wanted it. So probably one of my most favorite consoles in the collection for sure. Definitely, not too common. Plus, orange is my favorite color, so it looks really cool. I love it. Alright, so we got a couple of more unique pieces here for GameCube real quick, just as a bonus before we move on to the next console. We got a couple controllers here. First two, I'll go ahead and show. They're both the same, but I might as well just show both. We've got a couple of Wavebirds here, which are really cool. Both have their dongles, which is really nice. Those are really hard to find together for some reason. But I ended up picking both of these up for $10 each at a garage sale, which was really cool. These are like $40 controllers, I think, with the dongle, which is incredible. Just because, it's a really universal thing. I mean, it's not very common to see. I mean, back then it was kind of a newer thing to see wireless controllers and stuff. But these are just so fluent and very nice, controllers. It's just awesome. I thought they were really cool, especially for their time. It feels just like a regular GameCube controller. It's just a little bit bulkier because of the, sensor pattern inside and everything. But there's those. Really, really cool. I'm really glad to have, those with both dongles. That's awesome. And then we have a limited edition special indigo purple GameCube controller here. Very, very cool. It looks just like a regular indigo controller on the front, but on the back it is a clear see-through one, which is really, really cool. At first I thought it was like a generic controller when it was like laying down like this. I seen one at a thrift store, and I thought it was really, really odd because I had never seen one before. But it does have the Nintendo logo on the back there and everything. It's really, really cool. I thought that was an awesome two-tone style controller. So very cool. Had never seen anything like it before, but was definitely excited to realize it's an actual Nintendo brand controller and everything. So very cool. And I do have a couple of those. I could only find the one. I don't know where the other one's buried at, but I have it around here somewhere. So anyway, very cool. All right, next console here. This is the only one I have of this loose, besides our other one, it's our family one. But I'm going to do the same thing like I said I was going to do with the original Xbox and the Sega Genesis. And instead of having this just sit on the shelf, I'd rather have it hooked up to the TV and be able to play it and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. And that is the black Nintendo Wii here, which is really cool. It's got a stand and everything, which is awesome. It's not too banged up. It's got some scratches and stuff on it, but it's not bad. It's really in good shape. So very, very cool. Definitely going to hook that up and have that hooked up to the TV and play it and everything. So very cool. Alright, and this last piece for the segment is very, very cool. Just recently picked this up from a garage sale, and it was only $10, which was incredible. It has been opened before, but it does have the original hard drive and everything in it still, which is really, really cool. I had never seen one of these at a garage sale before, and I was really happy to see it. Just because, for the price it was at, I was willing to take a risk at it for if it worked or not. It was only $10, guys, and that is an incredible price. And it works 100%, except for, well, I couldn't say 100%. The PS1 setting to it does not work too well, but that probably just gave it away. So I'll just go ahead and show it. And that is the fat first model PS3, which is really, really cool. Definitely a unique piece. I have not seen this at a garage sale before. This is actually the first one I've picked up, besides, back when I first got one on Craigslist for Tyler when he first started getting into PS3. But that didn't work too well. That was a pretty faulty console. But this one does work, except for the PS1, laser and everything. It's kind of off. But it does work for PS2 and PS3, and it works. It's just incredible. But yeah, this is the first, backwards compatible model. Excuse me. It's really, really nice. I thought it was a really cool pickup for sure. It does leave fingerprints really easily, which I just noticed and everything, which sucks. I'm gonna have to clean it up again, but really, really cool console. I was really happy to get this for, $10 at a garage sale. Incredible. So there's that. All right, guys. So last little segment of loose consoles will be all the handhelds, and then we will go ahead and get into box items. So right now we're going to go ahead and jump over to the handhelds. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and get into the last set of the loose consoles, and that is all of the handhelds. Mainly they are all Game Boys, but there are some pretty cool ones in here, so we're going to go ahead and get into them. So the first set of them here, they are the original Game Boys. I'll go ahead and show them. I'm gonna try and lay all the consoles out at once and just leave them there just because they're smaller and they could probably all fit. First one here is a regular, just gray Game Boy. Unfortunately, this doesn't work too well, so it's more of just a prop item than actual use. But then we've got a dandelion yellow one, which does work, which is really cool. And then we have this black one, which I thought was awesome. That I remember picking this one up at a garage sale. And this packaging that it's in, this hard case, is actually a real case that was a retail shelving case, which is really cool. And it does have the copy of Tetris in there with it, which is awesome. So there's the original Game Boys, really cool. Then I've got 5 Game Boy Pockets, which is really cool. First we got the dandelion yellow one. Then we've got the red one, very cool. There's those. Then we've got the green one, which is awesome. And then we've got a blue one, which I thought was cool as well. And then this last one here is a black one, which is really cool. So definitely awesome pieces. I thought those were unique for sure. Game Boy Pockets are, they're basically just a regular Game Boy. They're just a slim, if you will. But very, very cool. Most of those I've found from our local indoor flea markets, which is a little bit different than from the big outdoor flea market that we usually go to. There's this one reseller guy that has a bunch of game stuff, and like once a month we'd go up there, it'd be a different colored Game Boy Pocket, so I'd always pick them up. They were always like about 11 or 12 bucks, nothing too outrageous, so I always thought that was a good deal to pick those up, so very cool. Alright, so the next set here, got 4 Game Boy Colors, 2 unique colored ones I'd say for sure. The other 2 are pretty much more common colors. First one here is the atomic purple one, very cool. And then this one, this is the color I had as a kid. That's not my original, unfortunately, but it's the teal blue one, which is really cool. I had one just like that when I was growing up, so to get one like that again was really, really cool. I thought that was awesome. And then we have the kiwi green one, which is really, really cool. This one came in the same garage sale lot as this black Game Boy here, which is really cool. I thought that was an awesome find to find 2 Game Boys like that in one lot. And then this last one here, I specifically one on eBay. I wanted to get it because it's a unique piece. The only thing wrong with my Game Boy Colors is that most of them, the speaker doesn't work too well anymore, so the sound isn't the loudest, but they still kind of work. But it's just unfortunate that they die off like that. Most Game Boy Colors do that just because they have bad audio. I guess that's just how you put it. But it's unfortunate that they don't work too well anymore. But anyways, this last Game Boy Color here is the Dandelion Yellow Tommy Hilfiger edition, which is really cool. I thought that was an awesome, unique piece, so very cool. Alright, and then the next set here, I've got 5 Game Boy Advances, which is really cool. All different colors, of course, but they're definitely unique. This first one, I'm not sure what color to call it specifically, but it is like the glacier pink, I guess you could say. It's just like a clear pink color. And then we've got the indigo purple one, very cool. Then, very nice, I love these ones, how nice they look. We've got the platinum silver one here, very cool. And then the jet black one, of course, very nice. So there's that one. And then the last one here, I know what this one is. This one's the glacier white one. So, very cool. I thought that was awesome. So, very nice. Very, very nice. Alright, and then I have 5 Game Boy Advance SPs. One of them is my original. I still have it, which is really cool. And I thought this was really awesome to, include in this lot. I also have the box for it, but I'll just save that for the separate part, and I'll show you that in the boxed section. But anyways, very cool. We'll get into them. First one here, we've got the Cobalt Blue, really cool. And then we've got the Fire Red. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but it's the red one. I can't remember. I'm trying to think if it's like Magma Red or something like that. Something interesting like that. But anyway. Then we've got the Pearl Blue, I think. It's like a light blue, which is really cool. And then we got the Onyx Black one, which is my original. Very, very cool. Definitely an awesome like slate grayish looking color. Very cool. Then the last one here I just recently picked up not too long ago at a garage sale. This was back in April, so it was pretty early around here for garage sales, but it was definitely a really cool one to go to. This lady had a bunch of, I mentioned this in our PS3 game collection video, she had a bunch of really cool RPGs and stuff on PS3 and PS2, some really good GameCube games. She used to collect games and such because she used to work at this one game store, and she'd buy all the, you know, rare looking stuff that when it came out, like Atlas titles and stuff like that. And this was one of those things that she bought, and that is the NES style Game Boy Advance SP, which is incredible. Very, very nice condition. I love how it looks. Definitely cool when you open it up. It looks like an NES controller and everything. So definitely an awesome piece to have for the collection. Just has a couple little scratches and stuff here and there, but not too bad at all. But I keep that in the case just because that's what it came in, and it has the original charger with it. So very cool. Alright, next piece here. This is in a case. I use this, you know, when we go on trips and everything. Very cool. I picked this up last year at the outdoor flea market, and that is a regular silver DS, and I have the charger in it with it and everything. Comes in this blue case. Very, very cool. Definitely an awesome piece, but unique as well, so I thought that was really cool. Still awesome. There's that. That SP case doesn't want to stay open, so hopefully you guys got a good look at it because it doesn't like cooperating. This next piece here, this is the only one that does not work, but I got it for $1, and it's from my buddy George. It was his son's, but I think his son dropped it and it does not work anymore. I think it's a simple fix, but I just never got around to doing it. But for now, it's a really cool shelf piece, and that is the Super Mario Edition DS Lite, which is really, really cool. Definitely a unique piece for sure. I love the style of it. Looks really cool. Just unfortunately it doesn't work right, but it's still a really cool piece to have. And this last one here, you know, it's not Nintendo brand, it's actually the Sony one, and that is a PSP 1001 model. Very, very cool, and I have it in this nice Logitech carrying case here, which is really nice. That came in a garage sale bundle last year with 3 games for $15, which was incredible. Definitely a unique piece to pick up, and I do play it sometimes, which is really cool. It's the only PSP that I have, but for now it does just well. You know, it's perfectly fine. So really, really cool. So, alright guys, that is going to do it for all of the loose consoles. Now, this is the biggest part that all you are probably waiting for the most, and that is all of the boxed consoles. So we're going to go ahead and get into that right now. Okay guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get into all the box stuff. We're going to first start off with all the handhelds just because they're a little bit smaller, and I want to be able to move into the home consoles after that, plus because there's more home consoles than there are handheld ones boxed. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so the first one here, very cool. The reason it has like a rattling sound is because the loose batteries are with it, but you know, usually when you buy these, the batteries would be packed up in like plastic and all that, but I just stuck in some loose batteries in here. This is complete, very nice shape, and that is the basic set for the original Game Boy, which is really, really cool. Picked this off of Craigslist, I believe, and it was only 20 bucks, I think. But this was a while ago, but it was a really good deal, and I thought that was awesome to pick up. So, very cool. Next one here, same deal. I think this was another Craigslist find. This one I believe was 25, just because it's a different version of it, but the same, you know, kind of style and everything. This one actually has a game pack with it. That is the original Game Boy here, and that was the one that comes with Tetris, which is really, really cool. Definitely awesome piece. Very, very stoked to have boxed Game Boys like that. It's really awesome, so very cool. Alright. Next one here, I picked this up from a garage sale a few years back. The guy only wanted 15 for it, which is incredible. That's a great price for the console by itself. It is missing the manuals and stuff, but it's still in really nice shape for what it is. You know, it was adult owned and everything, so that's why it's probably in such a good shape. But unfortunately, it's missing the, you know, manuals and everything. But it's still really cool. And that's the Onyx Black Game Boy Advance SP there, which is really cool. Really nice box, really good condition. It's just unfortunate it's missing some manuals, but I could always come across some manuals and put them in there, so not a big deal. Very cool. Alright, these next two, these are just empty boxes. I showed you mine originally, just, you know, previously here in with the handhelds part. And then Tyler still has his original. I'm surprised we kept these boxes because usually we would, you know, back when we were younger and stuff, we'd throw a bunch of stuff away. So it's kind of obvious that, you know, when kids would do that, this kind of stuff would not be around anymore. But for us, it was like usually stuff would just be disappearing and be thrown away and stuff like that. Just regular box and stuff, they'd take up space. So usually this kind of stuff didn't stay around, but I'm really lucky and, you know, really cool that this stuff is still around. So, but that is my Onyx Black, and then Tyler's Pearl Blue boxes here for the Game Boy Advance SPs, which is really, really cool. Definitely awesome to have the original boxes for our consoles. I thought that was really cool. They're not too common to come across boxes like that, so I was just, you know, surprised to see that. We went, you know, they were in our coffee table, like there was a drawer under our coffee table and they were still there, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. So very exciting, very awesome. That was really exciting to see those still around, so awesome. Alright, and then the last one here, very, very cool. This is Tyler's. He bought this, or he got this as a birthday gift, I believe, 3 years ago, and he really enjoys it. He plays it a lot, all the time. This is just a box with all the manuals and stuff in it. He has the console in his room, but I can just explain that. It doesn't have to be shown. But we have the box here in pretty good shape. It's just got a couple tears on the bottom from him trying to open it when he was, you know, getting the birthday wrapping or whatever off of it, but it's not that big a deal. But very, very cool. And that is the Aqua Blue Nintendo 3DS, which is really cool. The box, like I said, is a little banged up on the bottom part, but when you set it up and display it and stuff, it doesn't really show that. So very, very cool. Definitely want to get a 3DS myself. I just never really picked up one yet. But I would always like to get like the Midnight Purple one or the red one, something like that. Those would be really cool ones. But definitely a really cool little box there. So very awesome. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the home consoles. Okay guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the home consoles here. We've got quite a few, so we'll do this in increments because they're bigger, so they're taking up some space on the floor and I can only get to so many at a time. So we'll go ahead and do these in increments, but anyways, here we go. The first one here, really, really cool. We ended up picking this up from our local indoor flea market, which was really cool. I think this was about $17, which is incredible. These people had their own stall that was, you know, set up really nicely. It was really cool. They had a bunch of nice box complete, like 70s and 80s toys, stuff like that. And this was the only video game console thing they had, but I was glad to see it. And a really, really awesome piece. And that is a Sears Telegames Super Pong, which is really, really cool. The box, of course, is a little banged up, but for its age, it's really, really cool. I mean, just to see this thing in the original box like this is really cool. Yeah, it's got some tape, you know, residue and stuff here and there, some crinkles and everything like that, but I mean, for something this old, it's going to have that. But it is complete in the box with the original manuals and everything. I have no way of hooking this up just because it has the interesting, you know, style of TV connector to it. I don't have an old enough TV for it to do that. I might have to buy like a splitter or something, but for now, at least it's, you know, just really cool to have something like this in the box. It's just awesome. So, very cool. Alright, so there's that. And as we were speaking, some of that tape just came off of it, so it is starting to kind of slowly fall apart, but it's still, for the most part, the box is there, so very cool. It's not too big a deal, but it's just awesome to see something that old in the box like that. It's really cool. Alright, next one here, we're going to get into some NES's, and this is probably my favorite set of all time for the NES. It's the very first edition of this style. And it's really, really cool. I think this was my first, or no, this was my second boxed NES I've ever gotten, which is really, really cool, and I'm really happy to have this. It's not a whole, you know, 100% complete, but it is, for the most part, there, so it's really cool. And that is the NES Deluxe set with Rob the Robot, which is really, really cool. I know there's a version that came out before this that has no deluxe set on the front of the box. But that was the very, very first release, which is really, really hard to find. It's not common at all. But I still have the deluxe set here, which is really, really nice. It has... Here's where the story comes in with that Rob I showed you earlier in this video. That one actually came with this box set, which, you know, does not work. So this is how I purchased this. I purchased this box set as like a non-working unit. There was no NES in there. It only had the Rob and some manuals and stuff. But I got this off eBay for about 80 bucks shipped, which is incredible. Just for a Rob pieces in the box and everything like that, that's incredible. So, what I did was, I had a working Rob the Robot that I got off of Craigslist locally here for about $30, and I put the working one in this box. And I also had a loose NES, and I stuck that in there as well. And all the cords and the controllers and whatnot. The zapper, everything. But it does not have a Gyromite or a Duck Hunt in there. Those were supposed to be complete in boxes, the cartridges were. So it's pretty hard to find those complete in box like that. They're pretty expensive, so I'm still holding off on that. But if I get those, then I can almost have this complete. It's just missing some pamphlets and manuals and stuff. But for the most part, I'd say it's probably about 75% complete, which is really, really cool. It is missing the handle on the top part, but that's not too big a deal. So it's supposed to be like a carrying handle here. It's missing that, but other than that, it's in really nice shape for its age. The box has some, you know, corner bends and rips and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's all there. So very cool. Alright, so now here is the first one I ever got complete in box. Originally this box was destroyed, but I ended up getting a loose box off of eBay a long time ago. This was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And the box that I got this originally with was really ripped up and water damaged, everything like that. So I ended up getting rid of that. I sold it with an NES just by itself for, you know, 50, 60 bucks, something like that off Craigslist. But this loose box I paid about 20 bucks for, I think, off of eBay. And it was a really good upgrade for sure. And that is the original NES action set here with the gray gun, which is cool. The box is great now. It's really cool. Has the styrofoam top and bottom pieces. Has everything in there, every manual, everything like that. So very, very cool. It's a complete 100% console. So definitely an awesome set. It's probably one of the most common box sets, but it's definitely awesome. So very cool. Alright, so there's that one. Alright, and this next one here, very cool as well. This one, I bought the box by itself, empty, with the styrofoam insert and a bunch of the baggies and stuff. This is probably my best condition looking NES. The box was, I think, about 45 bucks with the styrofoam and all the bags and everything. And even has some twisty ties, which was really cool. But the box is really, really nice. And I was really happy to get this. And that is the NES Action Set Orange Zapper Edition, which is basically the exact same thing. They just ended up switching out the zapper color because of, you know, safety reasons, things like that, because the original color of the zapper was gray and it looked more like a real gun, so they had to take some safety precautions and turn it orange. So that's the only reason I have this, is because it's a variant. But it's really cool because it's such nice shape. It's just got a couple of corner dings and stuff. But it's really cool because the inside looks brand new. I had, again, to put the original NES in there myself. It did not have the console or anything, no manuals, nothing. So I had to complete it piece by piece, but it is 100% now, and it's really cool. So there's that one. Very nice. Alright, so there's the orange zapper set. This next one here I purchased, you know, full 100% complete the way it is, which is really cool. It's nice to, if you can get them in one shot, that's really cool, because then you don't have to do any extra work and trying to complete it piece by piece. So that was the story here, is this one was 100% complete already. And I can't remember the price I paid for this one, but I got it with a gift card, you know, for eBay from Christmas or something like that. But it wasn't more than $100, I know that. But it's really, really cool because it's another variant, but it's still really cool. And that is the later model edition of the action set, which is just a different style box and everything. Again, the same exact set. It has the two controllers, the Zapper and Mario Duck Hunt cartridge. But it is a variant box, which is really cool. It has the red strip and everything. So this was early 90s release, which is, you know, around the time when the Super Nintendo was out and everything. So this, of course, was starting to become a cheaper console. But it's still really cool to have the variant box set, which I thought is really cool. So definitely an awesome one. So there's that one. Alright, and this next one here, which is really, really cool. If you guys saw the NES video game collection video, showed a boxed complete Super Mario Bros. 1 and 2 in the original boxes and everything. Really nice condition, except for some, rips and tears and stuff. Those games actually came with this set right here, which is really cool. This one, I can't remember when I bought it. I know I got this one online as well. But it was, I think with some gift card money, I can't remember, but it was like $128 or something after shipping. But it was a really good deal just because of how expensive this set goes for alone. And it's really cool, and this is probably another one of my favorite sets. And that is the NES Challenge set with Super Mario Bros. 3, which is really, really cool. Definitely a unique piece for sure. It does have some warping, but it's not that bad to notice it, full on from when you're looking at it from a certain angle. But the inside looks really nice. The console's pretty good shape. All the manuals and everything are there. The boxed game is pretty nice. The box has some rips and stuff on the game, but it's still, for the most part, really nice shape, and it is 100% complete. So very, very cool. This is definitely an awesome set to have. It is definitely later because it has the red strip, and Mario 3 was a later game release anyway. So I think this was released around 90 to 91-ish. So very cool. Alright, and then the last NES bundle here is probably one of the most obscure boxed sets to ever get for the NES. This one has a really cool story to it. I just recently, this was actually about a year and a half ago, I'd say. I was looking on eBay. It was about 1 in the morning, which is pretty late to be up just looking around on eBay. But I was glad I was doing it. This was listed at a buy it now with $21 shipping. The buy it now was $75. And so I ended up paying $96 for this very unique piece. And it's definitely worth more than that just by itself. And this is probably about a $350 to $400 set, complete in box like this, especially in this condition. And that is the NES top loader in the original box here, which is incredible. Definitely a hard to find piece, not common at all. The console alone is worth more than $100. So to get a complete in box one for less than $100 is incredible. This was a really good score for sure because it is in brand new looking shape. It has all of the manuals, all the pamphlets, has all the original components, everything. It's incredible. So for 96 bucks, I got a really extremely hard to find piece, which is awesome. So, but anyways, very, very cool. Alright, so that does it for all of the NES consoles and that one Pong console there. So now we'll go ahead and get into the next set of boxed consoles here. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the next set of boxed consoles here. I only have one for this style, but very, very cool piece. Again, I had to end up, putting this one together myself. I bought the box and styrofoam tray and everything separate. But it was really cool to complete. I think I put about $58 into this complete, which is really, really good. It's cheaper than what the console goes for by itself. And it's for Super Nintendo, and that is the Super Nintendo Mini, which is really, really cool. It's just got a couple little rips and tears and everything, but not too big a deal. For the most part, it's all there and everything. The manuals and everything are in there. The console, the matching controller, all the original cords, everything. So I did piece this together. But it's really cool because it definitely complements the collection for sure. Very hard to find a boxed console like this. I know there's a couple other versions like Zelda and Yoshi's Island and stuff that have the mini sets like this as well. But this is just the basic one, but still very, very cool. Alright, so there's that. Alright, this next one here, again, had to complete by myself with the, piecing it together, steps and everything. But the box had all of the styrofoam parts and the manuals and stuff in it. Or no, it didn't even have the manuals. It just had the styrofoam and then the box. I had to put a console in here and I had to find separate manuals, everything. But now it is 100% complete, which is really cool. And I'm really happy to have it. And that is the basic N64 set here, which is really, really cool. It has that really cool $10 merchandise bonus box on the front there, which is really cool. Definitely expired now because it expired in March of '99, but still really, really cool. Definitely a unique piece. I haven't seen a boxed console like this before. on like eBay or anything with that sticker on the front. So I thought that was really cool. But definitely an awesome set, and it's really cool to have a boxed N64 like that. So very cool. Alright, this next one here. Again, this one was, well, not actually, I didn't have to do anything with this one. This one's actually 100% complete when I got it. Me and Tyler got this from one of our grandparents' good friends named Bud. He mentioned him several times in these videos. But anyways, he happened to have this one complete, which is really cool. It's just unfortunate all his other consoles weren't complete, but I wasn't complaining. I was just really excited to see this one had all the original components. And this one is also the original N64. And this is basically, you know, as basic as it's going to get. There's no, you know, bonus stickers or anything on it. It's just the actual regular set, which is really cool. Very nice condition, very well taken care of. And it was just given to us, which is incredible. Definitely that does not happen all the time at all. But I'm really grateful for this because it's really cool to have in the collection. And by the way, this was my, I believe my first boxed console ever, which was really, really cool. So that's awesome. So there's that one. Very nice shape, I love that. Alright, this next one here. This one I had to piece together over time, but it's still really, really cool. It definitely complements the collection as well. It's a variant, which is cool. When I first got it, the box was destroyed. There was no styrofoam, nothing like that. So I did a complete upgrade with this one, which I'm glad I did. I bought this off of Craigslist for 75 bucks, which is really good. But it was a pretty far drive to get it, but I was glad I did that drive because there were so many people contacting for this, and I can tell why, just because of how good the price was. But the one I had originally had no complete manuals, no styrofoam, nothing. It was a really destroyed box. But that is the N64 Atomic Purple bonus controller set, which is really cool. Very nice set. The box I originally had only had the cardboard tray for the purple controller in it, and that was it. And this one, when I got it, did not have that, so it actually kind of worked out in my favor to complete it that way, which was really, really cool. Definitely unique. I love how it has the, you know, the double pack set and everything. It just makes it a little bit bigger, but it's really, really cool. And this did come with a couple games, nothing too exciting. I think it was Kobe and NBA Courtside, Kobe Bryant, and then Madden 99 or something like that. But nothing too spectacular, but those were thrown in with it. Again, it was a grandparents having it for their grandchildren when they come over. Hardly ever used, but they had the original box and everything for it, which is really cool. So definitely an awesome piece. So there's that one. Alright, and the last one for this part here. Same deal. Grandparents had it for their grandkids. The grandkids, you know, hardly played with it, so it's in very nice shape. This one was incredible. This is probably my favorite, you know, box set, you know, to date right now. And this was really, really cool. If you guys saw in the beginning of this video the box controllers and stuff, the black N64 controller that we have, that came with this set right here. Very, very cool. The whole set was only 95 bucks, which is crazy. They were originally asking 100, but then, you know, I was starting to count out ones and stuff, and the older lady was like, you know what, 95 is just fine. So we took 95. They took 95 bucks, and that was incredible. And that is, you know, really, you know, for this set, this is a pretty expensive set, but that is Donkey Kong 64 Jungle Green set, which is incredible. Definitely an awesome find, and to have that bonus box controller as well, very, very cool. And this was 100% complete. It has the actual game pack and everything in there, the expansion pack, the matching controller, everything. I think the Jungle Green controller is almost brand new. It has the original bag over it still. I don't know if it was used or not, but it does look brand new, which is really cool. So, but definitely in, you know, 10 hours or less played with condition, which is really cool. So very awesome set. I was really happy to get this, especially off Craigslist. But that just definitely doesn't happen anymore because most people are out to make as much as they possibly can. But back when Craigslist was easy to find stuff and nice to find things, it was really cool. But now it's just a lot different. But anyway, now we'll go ahead and get into the next set of consoles here. Okay guys, so here we go. We're going to get into the next set of consoles here. This one here, very, very cool. I ended up picking this one up off of Craigslist for 40 bucks, but it came with a pretty good stack of games. So I was really excited to see this off Craigslist. The guy was moving, so he didn't want to take this with him anymore because he kept moving it around and everything. He just decided to get rid of it. But Very cool price, very cool set here. It's the very first model of it, and that is the PlayStation 1. Really, really cool. It does have the demo disc in there with it and everything. This is the non-DualShock one, which is, the very first edition of the PS1. So very, very cool. Box is in great shape. So I thought that was really cool. So very nice set. So there's that one. Very cool. This next one here. We picked this one up from our local indoor flea markets that we have. The one that I got this from specifically doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. They closed it down. But still very cool find there. This was probably about 4 years ago. They had $15 on it, I think, which is incredible. It did not have styrofoam blocks in it to hold the console still, but I found an old box with like an old VCR box, and the styrofoam blocks actually fit this very well, so it was really cool. So this is still 100% complete, and that is a PlayStation 1 with the DualShock controller, which is a really cool set as well. Definitely, very unique, I guess you could say. You don't see box PS1s a whole lot, so I really thought that was cool to get this set. I think this was my first box PS1, by the way. But really cool to have both versions of the PS1 in the box, the non-DualShock one and the DualShock one. So very cool. Box is in pretty good shape. It's got a couple of creases here and there, but nothing too major. But very, very cool. That was exciting. Alright, this next one here, very cool as well. This one I got from our local game store, Games Ahoy, and this was a pretty good deal actually. I bought this one for 30 bucks, and it is complete in the box as well, and that is the PS1, the mini one, which is really cool. And it comes with a demo of Harry Potter, which was really cool, and that is in there, so that's awesome. The console and everything is in great shape. The manuals and everything are all in there, which is really nice. The disc is a little rough, but it's not that bad, but it's still really, really cool. The outer cover is pretty ripped and, got some wear to it, but it does come off, which is pretty cool. It kind of just slides out of the top cover here, which is really, really cool. But then the box is just a basic, gray box with PS1 on it and everything, which looks really, really cool. But I love the slip-over cover, which is really cool for the, special edition Harry Potter set. So, very, very cool. Alright, so there's that one. Not too bad at all. I love this one just because it's my only box PS1 mini, but it's still really cool, so definitely cool. Alright, next one here. This has a really cool story along with it. This was probably about 5 years ago. Again, another Craigslist find. Definitely unique for sure. I saw this listing, and it was only for what was, pictured. It only had one picture of the console, no cords or anything, which I thought was okay. Maybe it's just for the console. The guy had $5 on it, which was a great deal for just the console, especially off Craigslist. Console looks brand new. But when I got to, I think we met at a King Soopers, which is pretty cool at the grocery store around here. But we met at this grocery store, and he pulled this out of his car, and it's a whole complete in box set, which, right away I was so excited because I thought I was just getting the console only. So for $5, this was an incredible deal. Box is a little water damaged, but it's not too bad. For the most part, it's all in really nice shape. And that is a fat PS2 in the box here. Very, very cool. First edition, which is really cool. It's got some wear, as you can see, like the white starting to peel and everything. But the console is in great shape. The controller, the cords. Did not have any manuals. That's the only thing I had to do was piece it together with manuals. But I think I have about $8 now into it, which I cannot complain at all. Box PS2 in this condition probably goes for at least 60, 70 bucks. So very, very cool. Definitely a unique piece for sure. And I was really happy to get this one. So very cool. Alright, so there's that one. Next one here, also really cool. This one I had to put a little bit more towards it just because of how nice it is. But this one actually came from a garage sale, which is really cool. And they had, I think, $30 on it, which is not bad. From a price like this. It's just a little odd because it was a garage sale, but this was a little more relevant still at the time. But this console is in near brand new condition, probably played with like 10 hours or less. It has the original receipt in the box with it and everything, which is really cool. But very, very nice shape, very cool condition box, and very nice set. And that is the PS2 Slim, which is really, really cool. Very nice box. Again, almost brand new condition. Has the tray for you know, keeping everything separate, everything like that. So very cool set. I was really happy to see something like this at a garage sale. I don't remember if it had any games or not, but I definitely, for sure, picked up the console, because why would you not? So, but yeah, just a little bit odd for a price for a garage sale, but still not bad for me. So very cool. All right, and the last one for this little clip here. Very, very cool as well. This one's a little more beat up just because it was owned by children. Not the console. I mean, the box is pretty rough, but the console is in pretty nice shape for what it is. And I got this off Craigslist for 20 bucks, which is really cool. Met at a local Starbucks coffee shop, which is pretty cool. Very, very cool set here from Craigslist. I thought it was a really good deal. The box could be upgraded, but I haven't found another one yet, but I'm not too worried about it for now. But that is the satin silver PS2 Slim, which is really cool. Very, very nice shaped console. But like I was saying, the box is a little ripped up on the top here. It is missing the tray and everything to keep everything separate on the inside, but it is in pretty good shape for the most part. The controller is brand new, which is very cool. But this is the later model Slim PS2, which has the front piece face that's different. But as you can see, the console is pretty nice shape. But see, it has the flat face instead of what most of them have, you know, before. So, but very, very cool set. I was really happy to get this, just because, you know, it's a box PS2 and they're not around a whole lot. So definitely a unique piece for sure. Just needs an upgraded box, but that is it. So very, very cool. All right, guys. So we'll go ahead and get into the next part of box consoles. Okay, guys. So here we go. We're gonna get into the last part of the box consoles. And I know by now you probably are tired of it all because it's a really long video, and I do apologize for that, but there's just so many consoles I had to show you guys and everything, and all the, you know, controllers and everything. So anyway, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get into the final part of the consoles. First one here, my buddy George spotted me this one. It was at a thrift store that was down towards Denver, which is really, really cool. He didn't pick it up because it wasn't complete or anything, but it actually is, for the most part, almost complete. But he told me about it, and he said if you want to go get it, it might still be down there at the thrift store. So I went down to this thrift store, and it was there. It was really cool. It's a Habitat for Humanity. It's one I had never been to before, but it was really, really cool. It was just, I was just really surprised that this was still there. And that is a boxed indigo purple Nintendo GameCube, which is really, really cool. It's the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition set, which is cool. Unfortunately, it does not have the game, but it has everything else. It has the cords, the controller, and the console. Very nice shape. And the manuals, which is cool. It is missing the cardboard section pieces that, you know, holds everything, you know, together in there. But for the most part, it is complete. It might need an upgrade just because it has some tape residue around it that, you know, took the coloring out of the box. It kind of shows right here, but for the most part, it really shows like right here where there was a tape strip that was going across, and it. I got it like this, which is unfortunate. Someone took the tape off like that, but for the most part, it's in pretty good shape. So at least it's a box GameCube, so that's really, really cool. So there's that. Next one here. I recently upgraded this. I used to have one just like this, but I upgraded it. I just got this not too long ago at a garage sale. A big bundle of a bunch of consoles and games and stuff. I'm really happy to find this set because it's in brand new condition. They said they had hardly used it, which is really cool to hear. Because that tells you how nice the condition the stuff usually is. And this one's in really nice shape. It's just got a couple of dings and stuff in the box. But that is a black Nintendo Wii console box set here. This is the one that comes with Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. And it has both of those. And it also has all of the components and the styrofoam, you know, like sheets and everything that would keep everything wrapped up and nice. It also has all the cords, the matching controller, console stand, everything that's supposed to come with it is in there, which is really cool. So definitely an awesome set. I think I paid 40 bucks for this, which was cool. It was like initially added up when I did this at the end. But I said I added up, you know, to be about 40 bucks what I paid for this. So very, very cool. Definitely an awesome piece for the collection. So there's that. Then we got this one over here. This one is just the box and all the manuals inside, but it's still really cool that we kept it. This is from back in 2007 or 2008, I believe. Got this for Christmas as a family present, and it is our family. It's our family's Nintendo Wii box here. Very cool. It's just the basic white one with the Wii Sports. Got this for Christmas, which is really cool. Again, the console's hooked up. and I'll explain, you know, as we get to these, I'll explain at the end what I'm talking about. But this is a really nice box. We kept it in pretty good shape. It's just got all the manuals and stuff in it, the trays, everything like that. So nothing too spectacular, but at least we have the original, you know, pamphlets and everything. So that's really cool. This next one here, same thing. I'll go ahead and just show it. It's another white Wii console box here. There's no trays or anything in it. It's got a couple of pieces of literature and stuff for the manual and stuff, but it doesn't have everything. This box was actually found in the dumpster at Games Ahoy, which is really cool. Unfortunately, they locked their dumpster now, so you can't do anything, which really sucks. I used to get really cool stuff out of there. They used to throw all kinds of stuff away, but this is one of the last pieces I rescued from their dumpster, and I thought that was really cool to just get a free Wii box like that. So, very cool. Not too big a deal, but still a cool piece to have in the collection. Alright, this next one. This is my original. I bought this back in the Christmas of 2009 for myself as a Christmas present to myself. I had saved up a bunch of money over the past couple of years, and I was really happy to put all of it towards this because I really wanted one. But I was like $80 short, so our mom helped me purchase this, which is really cool. But that is the Sony PlayStation 3 Slim bundle here, which is really cool. This is the 120 gigabyte version, and it was really cool. It's the Infamous and Batman set, which is really, really cool. Definitely an awesome piece. I actually remember getting this on Black Friday, which is cool. Definitely a unique piece for sure. It definitely has some crushing because it was, you know, kept under my bed for the longest time, so it's kind of bad on my end. I kind of ruined this box, unfortunately. It's improper storage, but for the most part, it's all still there. Has all the manuals and the original literature and packaging and everything, so very cool. That's awesome. Console is not in this box. I actually do have it hooked up, but I'll go ahead and explain that at the end. Alright, so there's that box. Very cool. Alright, this next one here, same story goes along with the Wii box here. This was from the Games Ahoy dumpster, which is really cool. I loved finding these boxes. I thought it was awesome. I couldn't believe they were just throwing them out like this, but it's really cool. And that is the Sony PlayStation 3 Slim 250 gigabyte system here. Again, no actual console or anything. That would have been really cool. But it does have the manuals and everything in there. Did not have Madden 11 in it. It's supposed to come with that. But it does have the sectioned off cardboard pieces and everything, which is really cool. And what's awesome about this is I just recently realized this. I had purchased a PS3 Slim off of eBay a few months back, and it is a 250 gigabyte system, which is really cool. So if you want to, I could say that this is the box for that console, which, you know, works perfectly. I thought that was awesome that I figured that out. So very cool. All I'd have to do is find a separate copy of Madden 11, which is not too expensive at all, and I can just stuff it in this box here and basically say I have a second complete box PS3, which is definitely really cool. Alright, so there's that one. Free console boxes are always awesome, so, you know, those are really cool to find. I've always seen some people, when they talk about stories, they'd find, like, you know, neighbors in like an apartment complex or something, they'd find like console boxes and stuff in the garbage. I mean, that's just cool stuff. I mean, some people don't really care about that, but as a collector, that's an awesome piece, so very cool. Alright, this next one here, also just the empty box and stuff with all the manuals and pamphlets, things like that in it. All the original twisty ties and the styrofoam pieces and the cardboard trays, everything. This was our gift from our parents back in 2013, I believe. Maybe it was 14, no, it was 13. And this is a really cool present that we got, brand new, very nice set. Me and Tyler tried to keep the box as best as we possibly could, just because we try to take very good care of our things we've learned over the years of collecting and try to keep our stuff as nice as possible. So this is a very, very cool set. Really awesome to have one of these. I thought it was awesome. And that is the Nintendo Wii U Deluxe set here with the Super Mario Bros. U plus Luigi U double pack, which is very, very cool. We don't keep the game in the box or anything. We actually have that separate. We keep it on the game collection shelf just because we like playing the game and everything. So it'd be kind of weird to just always having to open up the box and getting the game out. So we don't do that. But we tried keeping everything as nice as possible. We even kept everything down to the screen protector plastic and everything. And that's all in the original box here, which is funny. But if you think about it, it all has its original pieces still. So that's what we tried doing. Trying to keep it as original as possible, not throwing anything away, so we could have the nicest box that we could possibly get for it. So very cool. It's really awesome to say that we have our original box here, and it's definitely going to be, you know, a cool thing to look back at when we get older and everything and see it, and we're like, wow, we still have that box that we got for Christmas that one year. It's really cool. So definitely an awesome piece. Alright, this next one we picked up, I believe in March of last year, which is really cool. This guy actually was selling it on Craigslist, and I was trying to save up some money to buy one of these, and I ended up selling a bundle that I had, you know, for sale. It was an Ice Blue N64 and like 10 games or something. I sold it for like 180 bucks, so that definitely went towards this. But very, very cool set. It's the basic first launch edition of this, so very, very cool. And that is the Sony PlayStation 4. And that's the jet black color one, just the basic one. It's the 500 gigabyte launch model. Almost running out of space on it, believe it or not, which is kind of funny because a lot of the games that we play don't seem like they'd be that big, but they're really taking up a lot of space. So we gotta kind of figure it out. But we actually have this console hooked up as well. So that is just the box and all the manuals and like the box, you know, sectioned off cardboard pieces, everything like that. But the guy had it on Craigslist. It is brand new. It even came with the original GameStop receipt that he purchased it. He was moving, so he wasn't willing to, you know, keep it. He'd rather sell it and get some, you know, money for helping move. Instead of taking it back to GameStop and stuff, he'd just rather just sell it straight across on Craigslist. And I think we got this for, back then, you know, a year and a half ago almost. This was, I think, $300. So not bad. It was a really good deal. It's still, you know, being used constantly, so it's really cool. So definitely an awesome piece. And I love having the boxes for all the original consoles and everything. I think that's awesome. Because I know a lot of people, just the, you know, average consumer that buy a console and stuff, they usually just throw the box and everything away. But for us, that's not the case. So very cool. Alright, this very last box console here, guys, it's nothing spectacular at all. But the reason I saved it for last is because this is what got me and Tyler into retro gaming and collecting. Really cool that this came out. This I got in the summer of 2010. This was before I had any eBays or, you know, nothing like that. I didn't have any online, you know, buying capabilities. So I asked our mom if she could buy this for us, and she did it, which was really cool. And it arrived like 3 days. We were going on a big expedition on a Wyoming trip, and we were going to like Yellowstone and everything. So I was kind of worried if it was going to show up on time or not before we left. And it showed up like 3 days before our trip. But the thing is I didn't have any games or anything to play on it yet, so it was kind of a bummer. But I was at least happy to get the console and look at it and get, you know, stoked for being able to play some old stuff. And that here is the FC Twin. Very, very cool system. This was 30 bucks, which, you know, was pretty cheap compared to looking at the original Nintendos and stuff at the time. See, I wasn't familiar with anything, so I was kind of like, hey, if I can go the cheaper route, I'll just do that. So this is what got me and Tyler into gaming for, you know, older, you know, NES and SNES, stuff like that. That's what really got us started. And then we just started off and exploded into this huge collection that we now have obtained over the last 6 years. So very, very cool. I just love the FC Twin. Of course, I don't use it anymore because I have all the original consoles now. But this is just a cool, significant piece in the collection, just because this is the stage in my life where I started collecting and started playing old school games. So very, very cool. Very nice memories with it. I'm really happy to still at least have it in the original box and everything. So very cool. Alright, so now a quick couple of honorable mentions that I was going to mention to you guys at the beginning, but I forgot to tell you, so I'm going to just go ahead and do it now. We have several consoles that I did not show just because it'd be kind of a hassle to unplug them all, but I'll go ahead and mention them off. These are the ones that we have all hooked up and, you know, plugged into TVs and everything, and it'd just be kind of a pain to keep them all, you know, detached and then have to go put them all away and everything. So anyways, in the game room right now I have hooked up an NES, an SNES, an N64, all the original ones, an indigo purple GameCube, then we've got a regular first model PS1, then a regular first model fat PS2, then Tyler has a regular first model fat PS2, he has a platinum GameCube, and he also has a 160 gigabyte PS3 Slim. So those are the ones that we have hooked up in, you know, the game room here and then Tyler's bedroom. Now down in my bedroom I have my original fat PS2, that I got back in 2001, and it still works great. It's really cool. You guys, by the way, I'm talking about these, but you guys will have seen these in the actual game room tour as well, because those will be like bonus footage pieces that we'll throw in. But anyways, I have the PS2 down there. I also have my 120 gigabyte slim PS3. You just saw the box for it. And then in the downstairs basement living room, or the family room, or whatever you want to call it, our entertainment center, we have another slim PS2 or PS3, excuse me. That is the 250 gigabyte one I got off eBay. We have our original family's Wii. Then we have our Wii U, and then we have our PS4. So those are all the actual loose consoles that we have. Oh, and Tyler's Game Boy Advance SP and his 3DS. Those are the other ones I didn't show, but they're in there as I mentioned. So those are all the consoles. We added them up. There is a total of 103 fully functional consoles in our collection, guys, which is incredible. I never thought there was that many until I pulled them all out and started counting them all. And I'm like, this is incredible how many actual fully functional consoles we have in the collection. So anyways, that is going to do it for the video game console and accessories video. So now we'll go ahead and kick it back to the very last part of the video. Alright guys, so that's going to conclude the video game console collection video. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, telling your friends. It really helps us out. Again, if you have not checked out the previous videos of our NES, SNES, N64 handheld, GameCube, Wii/Wii U, PS1, PS2, and PS3/PS4 video game collection videos, we strongly recommend you check those out as well. The next one is going to be our last video game collection video, and that'll be all of the magazines that we own. That means, like the strategy guides, Nintendo Powers, things like that. So that'll be in the last video game collection video. That'll be after this one. So anyways, thank you guys for sticking around. Happy gaming as always, and we will see you next time. See you later, guys. Bye, guys.